Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Gimmick, your bi-weekly wrestling show here on GeekVerse Podcast. I am the Canadian Nightmare, Tress Snell, and I'm joined by the man who's watched 8 hours of wrestling, David. How's it going today, sir?
I'm tired, man. Yesterday was a lot of wrestling, and I did not realize how long I had been in this exact chair until it was over with. And
Oh,
that's
you're
not
in
even,
that chair too, yeah.
yes, that's not even counting the rest of the week. It was all spent in this chair, which now has reminded me I need a new chair.
There you go. So, everybody, give David some recommendations on chairs he wants. And then the one who don't sleep as Pubs. What is that in reference of? What am I lost on?
I saw it was a quote that Stephanie Vicaire said after she won the championship. She said, some people call us dreamers, but we're the ones who don't sleep.
I see. Yeah, well, a good day for you. Both you had Io in there, who I feel like was your main roster stand for a bit, and then Stephanie. So, and we'll talk about it. You got a whole clear. Oh right, yeah. I got a nice clean win. So we're gonna talk about WWE Wrestlepalooza. We're gonna talk about AEW All Out, and then anything else that usually comes up in the Gimmick and stuff. We can make many, I guess, predictions for the WWE Perth show coming up, but I think
for AEW, there's not really
no.
It's too
Darby
far
Moxley in
away,
a chainsaw McGee match or whatever they're gonna do. You know what? As much as it wouldn't be good for their body, I'd be down if they announce, because they haven't done this really in a while.
Should do a real exploding barbed wire death.
No. Let's not go there. That didn't go. No, I want give them a best of 5, but each match is a different stipulation. That's what, and different hardcore whatever. And
so when Jericho did that, right? Who was it chasing the title? They had to go against different people, because that's when we got
that was from the
GCW was in there.
That was oh god, who did for? Oh, it was to get to MJF, because that's MJF's gimmick, remember? And he did that to Cody, where you got to do the belts. But no, I'm saying a best of 5, Booker T Benoit series, but each match is Inferno. I feel like they're gonna do something Inferno with the fire last night.
I was thinking they should do I don't know, but to continue on with sort of similar to the coffin match, do an actual buried alive match, with the whole dirt mountain on the side of the stage and stuff.
Get the old school 3 stages of hell.
No, you know what it'd be like a Mount Everest match.
We talked about last week. Remember last time?
A mountain with it'd be buried alive, but with rocks. So
no, I'm saying Tony Khan should spend the money, get a helicopter, fly them on top of Mount Everest, and then film a cinematic match. Could you imagine that? That would be something. Get IMAX cameras and it's a cinematic match. Darby versus John Moxley. You got to throw the other person off the cliff, and then imagine that image where you pretend to throw them, and that's such a great write-off. And then when Moxley comes back, I survived falling off Mount Everest, you didn't kill me, that's what I'd like. But yeah, because they did that on WWE with Andrade and Carmelo, but that was a fake best of 5. They just randomly started look at the series. We haven't got. I think the last time I could be wrong, but in mainstream, not New Japan, and mainstream, I feel like it's when Sheamus and Cesaro they did a legit best of 5, and then they became the Bar. But I don't know the last time we had a best of 5 on TV, to be honest.
Sheamus and Cesaro was a best of 7. They did
best
that,
of 7?
and
okay.
then
they really ended up for Raw. Those
they ended up then tagging together, and then they became. It was one of those you can't beat me, we'll find, and then they got put together, and then that turned into the Bar, and it was crazy.
Was
what I would want them to do with Darby Allin and John Moxley is go back, get the WCW, the 3-tier cage, have each tier something different, and then the end of it is Darby Allin. Rig the whole thing that Darby Allin gets put through the top a la Mankind, but falls all the way through.
That's
and
what
then
happens to
somehow they have it to where he even falls through the ring at the bottom, and we just don't see Darby Allin for 6 months, he fell into the void somewhere.
That's what I was gonna say. That's what happens to a DDP and Ready to Rumble. He falls through all 3 of the cages.
No, I want him to even go through the ring it just
like Mankind style.
Just gone. Gone.
Dave, what was the match I did in WCW where to win the match you had to put someone in the electric chair and turn it on? I can't remember. It's like it's
one with Abdullah the Butcher. Yes,
and that's what I want them to do. Is you gotta throw them through all the cages, get them out of the ring, and then you gotta put someone in the chair and fry them
I've been watching a lot of.
It's a Chamber of Horrors match. Chamber of Horrors match from Halloween Havoc '91, and it was supposed to be Macho Man who refused to do the spot, so it ended up being Abdullah the Butcher getting electrocuted.
Yeah, he was correct to not do that, even before later on was like that was a mistake, but so there we go, that's our pitch, but we'll get there eventually. But so WWE Wrestlepalooza. S-Bubs, do you have any of the draft points right now? Are you still covering those?
I still have to do that.
Okay, so by the end of the show we'll get you an update. But David, overall, what do you think about Wrestlepalooza? Also, this was the start of ESPN. I feel like every third tweet on my timeline was, how does this work? I don't understand. Like, I feel like it's I don't know. I'll have to get the VPN or because I got Netflix over here. But how did you feel about the show overall? Obviously, big show for ESPN. They got Lesnar's back, AJ Lee's first match. You had Cody and Drew.
So I am a huge college football fan, and my morning is normally spent watching College Game Day, who surprisingly had an entire section of their picks for Wrestlepalooza. I think that this does bring it to the mainstream. Like that opening video that they did was amazing. The where we are at now, Triple H saying welcome to our final form, and all I can think of is Frieza turning golden at that moment. Like those aspects of it were pretty cool. Where
again, what does that mean? I've always said, what does that mean a couple of years from now if ESPN doesn't like bring them back? So it's like, are they? What form is this? But
or some new streaming service wants to pop them over there or whatnot. It could all change. But I felt like that part was cool. Some of the presentations were pretty cool, but as a show as a whole, other than the nostalgia of certain matches, I feel like it very much fell short for this being the big introduction into mainstream.
Yeah, I could agree with that. I think what was surprising me, so like I enjoyed the show overall. I think there's two kind of, I got a head scratcher, and then there's two kind of meh matches. One just not great, and then one could just been a little bit above a TV main event, but that's fine. I just felt like they went harder overall because I know people really not everybody, but a lot of people really disliked the Raw Netflix premiere because it was like very mainstream and all celebrities. But I felt like they went. That's what I was expecting with this. I know obviously the big meme was if Rock was going to show up, but I was expecting more legends, more. There's a couple celebrities, but I was just kind of surprised. It didn't feel. It felt like another pay-per-view. It didn't feel like the first pay-per-view on ESPN. Even though overall I liked the show, I just was surprised they didn't go that hard. Now I guess granted you could say that Netflix is technically, I'd say, more important because they're on there weekly, and then with the foreign people like myself, it's all the PLEs are there, right? So technically, I feel like if you were to ask them, the Netflix deal's probably bigger and probably could reach more audiences because at the same time, Netflix, there's tons of people that are subscribed for TV shows, reality shows, movies, and will just see WWE, right? Where ESPN, there's tons of people, you got to go out of your, like I don't have to because I'm not there, but like if you're in America and you don't watch anything on there, you have to go out of your way to subscribe to it. So maybe that's why it's not. I just still thought there was going to be something. Obviously, they loaded the show with AJ and Brock, but I just thought there'd be one more thing of, oh man, I should have tuned in, like when Rock was there, or whether it be a big turn or something like that. Like I thought there's going to be a moment where, hey, and that's where I think we all kind of thought with Cody and Drew going last, something was going to happen there, but nothing really came of it. So I'm quite surprised by that aspect. But overall, I enjoyed the show. I thought it was a good one. I thought it was like a very good solid B tier. I think I got like the show overall will be like a 3.75 for me. I think there's a couple matches that I really enjoyed for entertainment wise, and then the middle match, which we'll talk about, was fantastic. But I suppose, what do you think about Wrestlepalooza?
Yeah, Cody's ways.
Yeah, I gotta say, I gotta rock my boy here. So.
Yeah. Overall, I thought I'd agree. It was like, I don't know. Yeah, they definitely like sort of hyped it up to be. It's weird because they hyped it up to be bigger, but at the same time, I don't really think they hyped it up to be bigger. It's weird. Like in terms of, I guess what they put on it. I'd say overall, yeah, I enjoyed it. I'd have to see. I don't think it'd be like super high compared to like a lot of other PLEs this year, but I'd still give it like a passing grade. I think probably like I'd have to see what else I gave like a 3.5. If else I might be like a little lower than that, but probably around there.
Yeah.
I think a 3.5 is across the board a fair assessment for this. 3.5 to 3.75 is fair.
I think on my list of just like ranking, I think I had this on about the same as like a King and Queen of the Ring, where there was like a few, or definitely at least like one match I like really enjoyed, and then a few that were like pretty fun and stuff, and then ones that I was just like, it's okay, I guess.
That's a good idea. I got to do that next year. I won't start now, but like on Letterboxd with the movies, I'm going to start ranking the WWE and AEW. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, I'll have to do that next year. So that's fair enough. So all right, let's get this out of the way. Brock Lesnar defeated John Cena. Man, I agree with everybody. We have 5 dates left with John Cena. I shared in the Discord that clip of John Cena being like, well, we'd really have to screw up that last page, screw up everything. Do I think it screws up his career? No, but man, this just like, I knew this was going to suck, but it's still just like, sucked even more. I didn't watch it live because the AEW main event was still going on, but I watched it after the fact. And yeah, I don't know. It's exactly what I feared. It's like the suplex city thing, which I said this before.
He didn't even do it. Like he just did two separate ones.
And he said like two. So okay, here we go. But clearly Brock wanted to get out of there. It's like I said before. Without all the personal stuff, I was over the Brock Lesnar match years ago. And like other than to me, like I guess, and even then, it's like. People might say, oh, well, him versus Gunther, him versus Braun. Like, my worries is just going to be this stuff, right? It's just like, I don't know how exciting they're going to be. But, yeah, I thought Brock would get the win. He did because Cena's on the way out. Brock's going. Just, man, what a waste. Like, especially if we don't get, like, a John Cena versus Braun Breaker. I would have much rather have Braun Breaker squash him for 8 minutes. Like, give it to someone like that because Brock, like, I don't know. But I very much worry. I was surprised on SmackDown and at the Wrestlepalooza when Heyman came out. I am very, very worried that we could get. I think Brock versus Seth at WrestleMania is like a very legit possibility. I think they're gonna go with him and Gunther actually this time, but I could see whether it being
with Brock,
yeah. Like but again, if there's an injury, something like that, like I think no matter what in the next calendar year, you'll get Seth versus Brock, and they're gonna play up some of that drama there. Because I was surprised they put Paul.
You know where they do
right
that?
Away.
They do that at the Royal Rumble.
The greatest,
like in Saudi.
Yeah, that's it. No, like that's a good option. Yeah,
you just do like a 8 minute stomp match.
Yeah, and you could do something like
he enters the Rumble and gets like eliminated by Gunther after the match or something like that.
Oh, or he wins it, just like that. They did that one year where he lost a title match.
Even for the Rumble, Brock gets out quickly because a few years ago he went in there for like 3 minutes and Lashley like threw him out. Yeah.
So either way, I'm just saying like that's I think an option, but they will play up, and I have no interest in that either right now. So yeah, this was not good. Like I can't even give this a star rating. Like I would give
it like a half star.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you can go as low as 0.25.
Then I give it that. Because it's a bare minimum. It's literally just like refried food. Like we saw this years ago. It just feels so lazy, and it just sucks for Cena because it's just like I don't know. I don't think he cares. He's getting the money.
His 5 dates would be Crown Jewel, Survivor Series,
the final
Raw in Madison Square Garden, Raw in Boston, and then Saturday night's main event.
Yeah. So, which again, we've talked about a little times, but I just hate that it's on there.
I think he wrestles at those Raws.
Yeah,
I hope so.
The highlight of on his last SmackDown with Sammy, so I think maybe he like fights. I think didn't they do once like Seth versus Cena at Madison Square Garden before?
I think they did.
I think they did that once, so you could do that.
So the only highlight really to this match, it was very much cut and paste of their old SummerSlam, the Suplex City match with slight differences. But outside that, the only real saving grace was what it means for Cena going forward. I think this was their attempt to anyone who was still kind of on the fence about him being back to babyface after the attempted heel run.
Who was on the fence after all that?
The shot of the kids crying in the audience, and even Tyrese Halliburton sitting there with the shocked, the WrestleMania 30 shocked Brock Lesnar Taker face, like, you know, like all of these moments. That was the final. All right, this is our golden boy that we are sending off. We want to give him all the sympathy going into the end of his career, give him all the cheers. I knew when Cena came out and he was surrounded by those 30 kids, I was like, oh, he's about to get his ass whooped.
He always loses when he comes out with
I'm like, he's about to just catch it. And so, and that's what it was. I mean, I would probably give this like a C minus at best for like a match. Like it didn't shake foundation. I get that you wanted to get eyes on the beginning of this, but also if that was your case to counter program the end of AEW, maybe make this match go a little bit longer, because I still had time, even though I was watching on dual monitors, I still had time to fully enjoy the rest of the main event of AEW.
Nah, Brock's like, I'm not going 10. That's the new run. No double digits this run, you know?
I got things to do.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. I imagine Brock will be gone for a while. That's a good pitch that Seth at Saudi and then him there. And then with Cena, who knows? I think he'll just be the surprise partner at War Games. I think it's gonna be one of these things where we'll have a team and maybe they'll have a partner and someone's get taken out, or someone's like, I don't want to mess with the Seth Riders because like they're gonna injure me. So I think he'll just they could be like. I think it could literally be multiple ways where they announce Cena before, they announce him at some Survivor Series. They don't, it's a mystery man, but I think they will announce before so they can get him on the poster. And then I guess is he at the Perth, Australia show?
Yeah, he's been like super advertised for it.
He's gonna be on like, fucking Waller's show or whatever.
The main attraction of the show, and he's like, I don't know.
Yeah, because now we got that answer. Now, like it's at the. I guess we'll just talk about the main event now because it's tying into this conversation. Because we for months have been booking like what they doing with Cena, what they doing with Cody and Seth. And I swear at one point, maybe they didn't outright say it, but I thought at least it was rumored that they're not doing the Crown Jewel Championship. And then last night it's like, that's happening. So that's what I also hated, because the second they said that, I knew Cody was winning. Because like I just didn't think they were running Drew and Seth, because they've done that a lot, and I just didn't see Tiffany and if it is Tiffany and Stephanie, I didn't see them getting the main, and I don't see Drew and Seth getting the main. So I wish they announced that like on the post show. They did the stare down, so just right there it would have been a little bit more divisive. But that match, don't get me wrong, I think that's gonna be really good with their characters where they are. I think as we've all booked it, that Cody's gonna lose because he's gonna get destroyed by Drew and Braun and Bronson and maybe Paul, who knows. But who knows? He the whole thing.
I was gonna say Brock, but if Brock's not showing up, if he's not getting paid to wrestle.
Oh no, I bet he could SummerSlam though, right?
But that's like different. He's like that was like a bit like at least he's like, oh, I'm gonna be the main event. This like,
but it would have to be a big angle for him to show up.
Yeah. I bet you could convince Brock to do it for the right amount of money, to walk in F5 Seth and leave. You know, like
he
could be talking.
He still gets his $1 million payday if all he does is have to do an F5. Oh, Brock's all over that.
So now that, because I think a lot of us, and it still could happen, like you said, S-Bubs, but at least at Perth, it's not him and Rollins, which you talked about. I don't know what they're gonna do for Cena at Perth. Like, I really don't know. I guess because he's not gonna be on in the build, it's just gonna be like the big Bill Eddie Kingston. It's gonna be that. It's gonna be someone just like, I want Cena. So I imagine because he'll be in the match later on with the interference that we said, I am hoping it is Braun. But again, that kind of sucks because we kind of just got that match that was Cena.
Reed. Says he's like from Australia.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I like Bronson. I just. If I can only book Cena's last 5 matches, Bronson Reed is not on that list, you know? Like, that's the thing. So I'm gonna say it's Breaker, in my opinion, and that also gets Cena into War Games as well. That's my opinion. I'm gonna say it's Breaker.
You can have Cena you can have Cena run out and help Cody or something.
Yeah.
And that's where I think will happen.
Like neutralizes.
He will,
like,
and that's when Drew comes
Braun,
in, because
yeah.
that's my prediction on Discord of why Drew's injured is because on SmackDown I bet they're gonna say Drew's like gone for an indefinite amount of time, and then oh my God, Drew's here and he hits the Claymore. And I also think that's good drama because Seth and Drew have had lots of history, right? So they do that stare down and maybe feels like
that was like the original like scrapped plan for Seth's faction.
Yes,
it's supposed to be him, Drew, and Kevin Owens.
Oh my God, that would have been great. So, yeah, yeah. But who do you guys think for Cena for Perth?
I don't know. Now I tell you, yeah, I think either one. But also I think the Bronze. I don't know if this would get on like the PLE, but they definitely said like they're coming for like the tag titles.
Oh, did they? I missed that.
Yeah,
okay.
They've been like I think Heyman said like. They beat the Usos, so now like they beat the greatest tag team of all time, so now they're the greatest tag team of all time, and they're coming for the tag titles next. So I don't know if that would like make Crown Jewel to put that like on the show, or if they just like do that on Raw and then like they're just the tag champs. But I think for Cena, yeah, I think one of the Bronze, either Breaker or Bronson. And as for someone else, like, I don't know, maybe like, I don't know, I feel like it's going to be that, maybe like a Dominic or something, I don't know. Someone who can beat, like, a hateable heel. Or like Rusev, fight Rusev again.
Oh, don't do Rusev.
Please, it would be a good match, but...
You know what, Perth wouldn't be bad because the, like, I don't know, this doesn't exactly fit the Dominic character, but you could if you wanted to build a legacy. They could play up the whole Cena's never won the IC title thing very quickly. Yeah, and that's where you could play that up. And I don't think Cena should win it, but I actually would not be opposed to him winning it.
Drop it to Gunther in his last match. Gunther wins the IC
I don't want Gunther back there, but like my idea would be my idea. Okay, so I go Breaker, Perth, War Games, Dom. Because when's the Madison Square Garden one?
I think the Madison Square Garden is first. And
it's first? Okay, so like then I think you could do
Seth and Cena. Raw is Boston.
Then I'd say Seth and Cena. You have Dominic and Cena in Boston. He wins the IC title in his home crowd. Now, I know Gunther's a rumored opponent, so I don't want Gunther there. But you know what? I guess maybe
Gunther
that's
wins it and just relinquishes it. Like, I'm above the IC title.
Like Samoa Joe did. I don't know if you ever heard this, S-Bubs. I think it was happening when you were watching some of it.
That's the NXT one, right?
Well, that, and then he did he was like the longest ROH TV champion, and he just gave it up. He's like, I'm just done. He beat Hobbs. And then after he beat Hobbs, he did a promo of like, yeah, I'm just going to not be a champion anymore.
I remember.
Like,
I think that was like the
Lee,
week I started watching. I feel like I remember seeing like, Samoa Joe just like relinquish his title.
Yeah.
And he's
like,
going.
Granted, they did have him win the AEW title right after, so I guess at least that happened. Kayfabe-wise, it's like, okay, it made sense. But he looked like such a geek at first. Like, I'm just going to like, yeah. But David, who are you thinking for Cena Perth?
So here's my thoughts with Cena and Perth. I think that Cena is not going to have a scheduled match. I think it's going to be him on the Grayson Waller effect.
God damn it!
Hold, but wait, there's more. And I think
Austin.
Holy God, what are you showing me? Come on.
I think
Austin Theory match too. Austin Theory's return.
No, I think that is when the Vision come out and they take out Grayson Waller, and one of them challenges Cena to a right then, right there match.
Okay, as long as it ends that way. If it's just fucking him on the Waller effect.
Nope. Geez. Because I don't think you want to give away the match just yet. So I think he might be advertised for that. And then that's when like you go into him having an actual match. I definitely think he will take on one of the Brawns, because I have a feeling he wants a good match against Braun Breaker before he goes out. But also, you're in Perth, so having Bronson Reed do something would fit into that. So I think that he's going to get challenged by someone of the Vision.
There was a face male Australian, like if he's like a tag match or something, like both the Brawns are like, oh, we're gonna beat you up, Cena, and then someone comes out and it's like, let's go.
Fuck it, just give him Rhea Ripley, man. Let's get the Bronze versus John Cena and Rhea Ripley. Let's see Rhea Ripley, Riptide, Bronson Reed. Hell yeah, the roof
off the rope,
super finisher. The roof would blow off that place.
She got up Luke Gallows one time, so she could
do it. Give her enough time, you know. It's like that's where it's like I know lots of people feel iffy about intergender wrestling and stuff like that, but I just like, man, when we talked about last night of. And we'll get there. It's like, fuck, Becky Lynch versus CM Punk
would be. I feel like they're both very similar wrestlers and just the stuff they do.
I was like, Becky and Seth could be better than, or Becky and Punk might be better than Punk and Seth. You know, like goddamn. So, yeah. But anyway, so yeah, we talked about that. And I guess we're talking about the Bronze. I thought the tag match was fine. Like, I don't know. Obviously, it's tough because the ending got a little meh because it looks like Jay got somewhat hurt. So, I guess
saw like the slow-mo clip because when I was watching it just like in normal speed, I couldn't figure out like when he hit himself, but the slow-mo is like crazy. Like he hits Braun in like the back and it bounces up like so quickly against his head that he's like instantly like busted open. Like
he
a
did the
millisecond after it's like
spot,
spilling everywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, so apparently he's like in concussion protocol for that.
Yeah.
So
that's
But yeah, the match itself was like it was fine, I guess. It was just kind of like there. It was just to show, I guess, the Bronze being like dominant, but LA Knight didn't really like screw either of them over.
No.
He kind of just let them do like whatever.
There were moments of him going like, "Oh, are you challenging me? Oh, did you do that on purpose?"
Clearly like, trying not to hit. Like he went like there wasn't like I don't know. It just
like Braun moves out the way and you get hit, and you're like, "You did that on purpose." Like you were standing right here. You know exactly what happened, and this has happened in your matches before. Like you know how this works.
It's my least favorite wrestling trope. When wrestler gets hit by other wrestler, like, did you hit me? And it's like, well, just watch the fucking replay, man. You're gonna be okay. Like I know
there's
like
the Damian Priest.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was
like, the part I did like was the end. The ending made me laugh where Jimmy is like in that table, and as they're counting 3, the table just slowly
almost
falls
perfectly
and
timed.
Him.
Yeah. No, it's pretty good there. So, but yeah, that was fun. I guess for me, the other thing is too, because I've said this before, I know people have talked about it, and especially you shared the clip about this potential Jey Uso heel run. Terrible idea. You never know, because maybe it's something great, but I just think that's terrible. And I guess
I don't think they're actually good.
No, I don't think they are. But
I think they just want to give him like a
drama.
it's like the Hogan thing before he actually went into Hollywood Hogan, where he was gonna be like Dark Hogan in WCW.
Okay.
Like he would just wear all black. This is like a year before Hollywood Hogan, but he's like,
I remember,
I'm evil now, dude.
He wore the black jeans and the black jean vest, and
but he just acted like the same. But he just
I didn't color my beard, brother.
Yeah, no, I think for me the problem, and it's not the exact same as like the Acclaimed in AEW, but I was not like, man, I need the Usos back together right now. And I know that's the play because Jay's the singles act, like for everybody kind of goes up and down, but I'm not this. And I guess even though when they came back, it didn't feel as big. And I don't know, just I don't know what we're trying to achieve here, but cool.
I think when you do these types of matches, you need a true reason for them coming together. Like when Cody and Dustin teamed up, they, had the whole, hey, I have this huge match coming up and what I need is my brother. Like for something this monumental, if I'm making history, I want to do it with you. Or Edge and Christian come back together like, he's my asshole. Like you have those moments where there's a bigger reason for them coming back together other than, well, we're putting Jay in this thing with the Bronze and this other thing with LA Knight.
And that was the story. He teamed with LA Knight. He lost once. He's like, I need you back, man. It's like, that's it. Just because, like, go get another partner. Ask Cody what he's up to. Like, you want to take titles with Cody. I know they're busy, but I mean, like, in kayfabe, like, there's no one else on the roster before you got to get your brother back. But
them bringing back the old music, like to me that's a Big 4, Big 5 pay-per-view moment, not a Wrestlepalooza on a random Saturday night. Like you save this for a moment. Maybe it is a championship match. Like Jimmy is working towards entering, and he's like, "Hey, if this is my shot at being a champion again, I'm going for my brother. And then you bring Jay in for this. They do the old music, everything else. This just seemed like nostalgia bait, and the match was all over the place. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't anything that made me go, man, I'm glad I got to see this match.
Yeah, it's a weird thing for me to say, but at this point, I like more when it was like Jay on the road to Gunther and he just needed a mystery partner and Jay came in for a match. They did that, then they used the Gunther thing. And that to me was perfect, where it's like, oh, it's like a fun cameo of the Usos, but then they go back. But I think it's another thing too, like they don't know what to do with Jimmy. You know, they're just like, it's tough because like he is.
Who is arguably the better
than Jay, but
yes,
it's
better promo, better
thing,
wrestler.
It's the Matt and Jeff thing, though. Matt was always a better wrestler than Jeff, but like he didn't have the aura that Jeff did, right? And that's where the same thing is. And Christian, as a babyface, I'd say was the same as Edge. That's why Christian, when he was a heel, was fine. But both Matt and Jimmy as heels were nothing either. So that's where it's like it is very much like the Hardy Boys, where Jay just has the Jeff Hardy thing, and you can't, no matter what Jimmy can do, he can't get there when he's like, oh, I want to win a singles title. It's like, I have no interest in Jimmy Uso holding a singles title right now, you know? Like, other than someone
he is
injured,
Reverend
maybe.
Devon at this point. He is Reverend Devon at this
Deacon
point.
Batista, too. Have you seen Deacon Batista before, S-Bubs?
Yeah.
Oh, so that was Batista's main roster. It's just a guy collecting donations for Reverend Devon.
Going around with the collection plate.
I just remember because I think one of these like last two like WWE games, like one of the DLCs was Deacon Batista.
Really, that's awesome. Yeah. Oh yeah, because he had like the eye thing, and everything. But yeah, so we'll see. Hopefully Jay's okay. Like, and I don't know what they're doing with the story. I think my prediction is if everyone's okay, WrestleMania time, the Usos are winning the tag team title. That's my prediction. They're gonna do some longer build. Maybe there's some drama here and there, but either okay, I'll change it. Either they're winning or they're defending the title, and hopefully there's some good team. Hopefully they build up for Axiom or something like that. I wouldn't be in a last ever TLC match, you know, like it could happen. But then after that, to me, definitely I think all of us are going to agree the match tonight. Maybe I have to decide, but between me it's probably this and then the Hanger and Fletcher one I'd have to think about, but for multiple reasons. But Stephanie Vicker beats Io Sky. I'm trying to say her old name, but yeah, I know everyone talks about, and it's not that's not true about Io and Rhea Ripley and their chemistry, but Stephanie and Io have, I won't say that same chemistry, but their own chemistry of their own. I've said this before when we talk about this Discord. They remind me of Orton and Christian, where I don't think Stephanie and Io are going to ever have a bad match, and not either with Rhea either, but just like I think because obviously with Rhea, she plays like the bigger, strong hoss in that match. And this is like, they're not similar styles, but they have variations of it. But this was a great match. The last two matches have been great, but they always went the DQ finish. I'm just very happy that they didn't, because everyone was worried and everyone was speculating. I'm happy that there was no miss, no Asuka interference, nothing. Because to me, it's like, if Stephanie's winning her first main title and it's due to like the miss, unless it's a heel turn, which is not the case because she's slowly building up and people are liking her, do it this way, and it does not hurt Io at all. Io's like been at she just won the last WrestleMania. She's the semi-main event with Bayley. She's gonna have like a big program with Asuka and Kari. Like, she's always gonna be around. You could argue she is top 5 in the world, not just men and female, like of the world. So like Io's gonna be fine taking it here. It helps Stephanie, and I don't know why it's. For some reason, it doesn't feel as rushed as usual. Like people winning it this early, I think it just feels natural, but. As I said before, I think even if Naomi was in the spot, Stephanie was winning. I'm telling you, it's gonna be it's Stephanie and Rhea. I'm booking it right now. I think Rhea's winning that Chamber Rumble, and they're doing it for one. It'll be a fantastic match, but two, just the social media, everything. They'll have a big time promoting that. But I thought this was a great match and really delivered. So, what about you, S-Bubs?
No, yeah, I really enjoyed it. Like, I already loved the two other matches they had on Raw that like ended in the DQ. So for them to get this one with the full time was just great. And yeah, I think it actually was different than the other matches because I felt like the other ones were all like go go go. This one did have some stuff with obviously her working over like the legs of Io to the point where she had to like take off the knee pads. But then that also went into like when she missed the moonsault, then that like hurt her knees even more. Yeah. So I thought it was a really cool match that actually was different than the ones they had already had. Just they did different stuff.
Yeah, this to me is match of the night. I would say, as much as I loved Hanger and Fletcher, and they had some amazing spots, but just pure bell to bell, the fun of the match, the fluidity of the match, and everything else, man, these ladies put on an incredible match with some incredible spots, and just it was a highlight for both of them, and it was a highlight for women's wrestling. And I think about, you know, their time in NXT, especially Stephanie Vickers, and looking now, I'm like, you've got her as a women's champion, you've got Julia as women's United States champion. Like, they have really shown why they were so highly touted coming in. And I'm completely happy for you. I agree that this was a situation where Io Sky can take the loss. It doesn't hurt her at all. It gives a big elevation to Stephanie, who's already sitting pretty high, but this just solidifies it. And I think they will continue to have more matches. I look forward to some of the other matches that Stephanie has, and I want her to be able to defend this title a couple of times and really show her stuff in that realm before any eventual losses.
Yeah, I hope it's not she just wins the title and she just becomes backstage promo person. Like, that's what Triple H did with Io, and that was like hi Rhea, good match. Hi whoever, good match. It's like,
yeah,
what are we doing here? Like I've said before, I was a big fan of when Bret Hart would like main event the program and like defend his title against Tugboat, and he'd get like a 3.5 out of Tugboat. Like, and Io was that person that could have done that. You could have put her in there. Like, maybe it's not the most drama because people thought, oh, she's gonna win, but you could put her in there with Ivy Nile, and I bet you she's gonna get like a really good match. Or like, especially with it being on
Stephanie
Netflix.
Did have a really good match with Ivy Nile.
There you go, do
like
that.
On
like
Raw.
That's why like these worker people that like, especially with Io, is surprised because like obviously she knows English, but it's not like the first language, everything. So sometimes the promos were very basic, and I was surprised. Like, she's the wrestler champion. Why isn't she just like beating everybody and then, you know, eventually lose it the way she did with Money in the Bank? So I hope with Stephanie it's not she just becomes the Aura girl, and that's where, or just like six, you know, Tony Khan 6 women tags all the time and everything. But
yeah, I mean, they're pretty stacked on Raw with women. They Roxanne Perez, Rhea, Raquel, Natalia, you know, Lyra Valkyria, Liv Morgan whenever she eventually returns, like Kairi Sane. They're pretty stacked on Raw when it comes to the women. Asuka. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
The storyline stuff, like I feel like she definitely defends against Asuka at some point. And she said that's like her dream match, to have like a one-on-one match with Asuka, which I feel like that would be really good, because they were in like one of those like 4-ways for like Queen of the Ring, and like they had some interactions there. But yeah, definitely I feel like they'll do like a match with Raquel, especially since they've been like building her up a lot lately. You could do that. And yeah, like you said, I do want her to defend a lot. Obviously, she's going to have the match with most likely Tiffany in a few weeks there, so that's at least one match to get there. And after that, I'll have to see. I wonder, I assume this story is probably what's going to be like in sort of like the War Games type story. But I guess, I don't know if they do both ones on Raw, but I guess the Seth one, that could be like a cross-brand one too, especially if you have like Cody in there, like Brock and Cena in there, I guess. So you could probably find some women SmackDown to put in there. And I guess this is sort of unrelated, but another random thought I had is this is probably the first time like the Women's World Championship has changed hands in both AEW and WWE on the same day, right? Like, I don't think there'd be another one where they had like a event
probably
on the
not,
same day.
Same day, I would venture to say that, because AEW's women's has not changed hands a lot. But like I said, we have the opportunity here. She could run through all 3 of the Kabuki Warriors, like just having those banger matches. And I think all 3 of them are such high caliber also that it would boost her stock as champion. So I think that's a good place to start after this whole Crown Jewel women's Crown Jewel championship thing, which again is completely, I'm not here for that, but it is what it is.
Which is gonna be good though if it is her and if it's her and Tiffany. I think that's going to be really good. Like, I guess I could see a world. I think we all agree that Tiffany's just going to win by pinning Nia, and they save the Jade thing. I guess you could do a world where Jade pins Nia and Tiffany hasn't lost, and you could do Jade and Stephanie. But I don't think that's a good idea. I think in that case though, of Stephanie versus Jade, I really don't know. Or sorry, Stephanie versus Tiffany, and the winner there. I really don't know who would get that, because they're both on interesting builds where I feel like Stephanie is getting the young upstart, rookie just on a big role. I know she's not a rookie, but in WWE, right? But then Tiffany's getting this long reign, and she's like getting the almost somewhat dominant champion of she's beat everybody on SmackDown. There's no one left. So that is a tough one. Like, if I feel like if I had to pick, I think they might give it to Stephanie just to keep that going, because Tiffany hasn't lost in a while, so you can kind of keep that, going up that, it got to her. Like I said, the way I said about Cody with kayfabe, like eventually she's just been defending more, or you could always have Jade in her if you could have something, right? Because I think
that's what I said. Depending on how that match goes, the triple threat match goes, especially if Jade is not involved in the pinfall, I could see her then coming in and interrupting this match and staking her claim against Tiffany to get that title.
Wrong, isn't that how Liv beat Nia? Wasn't there some shenanigans going on in that match? I thought Liv didn't beat Nia clean, right? I thought there was Dominic or something. Yes, that's what I mean. Where we've seen that before, right? So, but yeah, we'll see. That'll be if they let them go again. I would not. The same way, Tiffany or Stephanie losing either way. That's why I think they would give Tiffany losing, just because Stephanie just won the title and be odd to lose. But that's what I liked when Triple H first took over, and I like what AEW usually does is if you have two Titans and one of them just loses, that's okay, because someone's gonna lose. It's the same way as football. It's like, and then that gives more drama. The next time they verse, go, hey, you beat me last time. It's like the same time when in the future when they do Gunther and Cody too. It's like, Cody got him at the Rumble. He got him at Saudi. Gunther has a full reason, no, I'm gonna beat you this time because you got my number, right? Like, I think there's a great cadence as far as I loved it back in the day, and many times, right? But Tommy Dreamer always said, I don't ever want to beat Raven, because that's always a story, right? Of, can I beat you this time? I don't think there's anything wrong with having one superstar that's beating you multiple times, because there's always story there. And then when you eventually, that's what they're doing with Io and Rhea, right? And I'll give them credit that Rhea still hasn't beat Io in a triple threat, and that's where it's good of Rhea can be so good, can beat anybody else, but for some reason, Io Sky has her number. And I love that story. So that's why to me, it's like if Tiffany loses, it's not pushes over. Like Gunther lost to Cody and he ended up being okay. I think him losing to Jay hurt him more than Cody, if anything. So, but we'll see. Yeah,
the Cody loss when it came to Gunther, it made sense. And then you had that whole, that dishevel, I'm supposed to be that, how did I get to this point? And it added more to Gunther. So yeah, those moments make sense. You got big name versus big name. Someone's got to fall. It's the same when it comes, whoever goes to the Super Bowl, you're not going to say, well, that team sucked. I don't even know why. They both got to the Super Bowl. Someone's got to win. Exactly. And I think it's the same right here. So you could have them go over. I have a feeling that Tiffany's going to get screwed somehow in that match. Let Stephanie win. And I'm all for that. She's the newer champion. She's the one that you're currently building up. Tiffany has been built up already as a legitimate contender. So continue building Stephanie Vicura up. Let her take it and go from there.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, speaking of the women's division, big showcase last night, which again, this is just to me crazy that you got Tiffany in this big brain, Stephanie, hot new star, stamina wise, but of course, yes, she's a very attractive lady as well. Everything on Twitter, there's lots of stuff there. I get it. Even Emily was like, oh my God. I'm like, yeah.
The Wade Barrett comment.
That was... He said that, and he said something else where it's like, man, he is walking line I'd like to smooch that devil's kiss. I was like, man, you sound like Jerry Lawler in the 90s. I'm fine with that. I'm not going to try and cancel him.
There was another one recently that I forgot where he said something like that.
It's like, you're a married man, Wade. Calm down.
If he starts yelling out about puppies, I'm done with Wade.
Sometimes he feels like he's channeling that, but
I'm like, we got full horny Wade tonight. Oh, grand.
Yeah. But, and that's where
he gets more horny for is LA tonight.
Oh, the megastar! Yeah, or when he gets the tsunami. Yeah. Tsunami. But what was I gonna say? So that's what's so crazy is all this stuff is going on, and Triple H loves her, but Julia is just like, that title is dead in the water. They need something. There you go. To me, it's like, find somebody that's great and do a best of 5 Julia and just have that. Like, they need something over there, because like even now with Becky and I see now with AJ, it's just like, it's kind of crazy that, you know, this big showcase. And honestly, I don't know if it's going to happen in Perth, but we know at some point they're going to do AJ and Becky. I think that could go either way. I think AJ could win. I think Becky could win. Like, they could also do like a trilogy where Becky, kind of like Lyra, sneaks out a win. Well, who knows? But to me, the mixed tag over delivered, because I thought, yeah, they went 30 minutes. So like, just like 5 minutes, like just a couple under Kyle Fletcher and Hangman, who were doing like this like wrestling class. Like, this was to me. Oh, go ahead.
It was like, just this one match was almost as long as every match AJ Lee had in her
that makes
like
sense.
600-day Divas title reign combined.
Yeah, and that's what's crazy, and that's what, for me, that was the thing I was most happy about, that I talked about this last episode. But AJ never got to do, like, she had a couple with Paige, a couple with Caitlyn, but never this like huge high profile.
Match.
Yeah, cinema match, tables, weapons. Like, because I remember when Paige, because they used to do the themed like pay reviews, and it was Hell in the Cell. And I remember there being a big campaign for Paige's AJ's like blow off match to give them the cell. Everyone's like, they should get the first women's cell, and they didn't, and everyone like was really pissy about it and stuff. So that's where it's like, now we're in this era where this can happen. So even seeing the table bump where Becky, which I loved, and it broke in such a cool way, like accidentally, but when just what a maneuver, like, I'm just gonna chuck you at your husband and Seth. And kudos to Punk, because it's the funniest thing ever, pointing this in the Discord, that when they hit the table, AJ bounced and Punk saw it. He sold for like 2 seconds and then just got right up like, hey, you okay? Like, and she has a history back issues. I'm not saying it was wrong, I'm fine, but it's just so funny how you could tell he went into husband mode of, he sold shit. He was he got right up. He didn't even care. But no, this match to me, it's similar to like, it just sounds different, but like Moxley and Hangman, where I would never give that as a 5-star as far as like the match quality, but for the entertainment wise, they hit everything I wanted more.
Cody and Seth versus Rock and Roman.
Absolutely,
it just went like way more than I thought it was gonna be.
Exactly,
especially in length. Even though that one was like 50 minutes long, but like just in terms of the stuff they did, and like stuff that like it was the same thing. Like, I didn't think like The Rock was gonna take like getting rock bottom by Cody through the announce table and stuff like that.
Same thing when they're on the tables, because what happened was the match was like kind of coming to a crescendo, and then all of a sudden they went outside and they started removing the tables. I was like, oh my god, like, we got another like 5 to 10 minutes here. Like, I was surprised what was going on, but it was great, and I love the dual spots, and that's to me what it felt like. It felt like AJ was like, I'm sure they all planned and whatnot, but it just felt like, I got a bunch of shit I want to do here that I've never got to do. Let's do it. And no, to me, it over delivered big time. Yeah, AJ was a little rusty. She needs to work on those punches. Those long. that was tough for me. I was like, I love my girl, but like, those are some tough ones. But no, I hope with other couples or managers, which was so funny, they had these stats of both couples were undefeated in intergender tags and stuff. And the best thing, because you never know with WWE and where they're at, I love that they started. The match broke down to, okay, the men are just wrestling the women, and here we go. You know, and the crowd ate it up for every old time. It's going to be like, I'm not going to take a bump for this lady. It's like, the people that are watching at home, they don't give a shit. And we live in an era where there are dozens of women in UFC that could beat the shit out of millions of men on the planet. So it's like, we're not in the era anymore of puppies and divas and stuff. So I love when like AJ's do, like, they're stealing each other's move, like the AJ stomp. And again, like I said in the Discord earlier, it's like, for some reason, it felt like
the Black Widow to Seth was
the Black Widow, and he sold it great. And I was happy.
I thought he was gonna like actually tap out.
I thought for a second too, the way his hand was, and I was happy Punk was started to sell for Becky too, because it bugged me the whole time. Like, anytime she hit him, it was like Superman to like a little kid. It's like, she's still like a women's, like, sell a little bit, but then he did, and like she did a sharpshooter on him, like all this stuff. Like,
when he was turning it around, I thought he was going for like the figure 4 or figure 8. Was what I thought he was gonna do.
He bridges and does the figure 8.
That's what I thought he was gonna do. But
they just put in so much, and that's why it's like, I love that they were bumping for each other, and it was tremendous. Like, I wouldn't even be mad if they just flat out ran this match back with like a stip or anything else. Like, they just this was fantastic. So they, to me, over delivered on what I thought it was gonna be. So yeah, this is, like I said, probably my third match of the weekend, for just because entertainment wise though. But
Yeah, there's I view this very highly. Like if I had to grade it, it'd be a B plus A minus. But a lot of that is because of the nostalgia aspect. It is just seeing AJ Lee and having those moments, man. Seth skipping around, and then the second time he did it, skipping into the GTS.
Boom. Yeah,
like
that cell too. Those so good, crazy stuff.
Those moments make that match. So while the last match, the women's match, was just, man, this was a damn good match, or a Hangman and Flesh was just like, this is a damn good match. This was, man, this is fun. I'm loving seeing this. I'm loving seeing some of the things. Yeah, there were some miscues. And
Punk was late on a couple times. That moment when he had Becky, it was Becky, right? Seth had Becky in the air, and then he's like going to throw him, and you can see Seth like he says something. Punk's like, "Oh right," and then he rolls out of the way. And they did this, and it ended up still being cool. But they did this thing where Seth caught AJ, and they were going down. And what's supposed to happen is Punk's supposed to meet them. He catches AJ and throws him back. AJ's went fully flat on his feet, and then Punk's like, "Oh," and then just picked and threw her. So yeah, there's a couple times Punk was a little behind on some stuff.
I did kind of feel like I rewatched this match earlier, and there was a couple of times where I spotted where it looked like Punk was not fully in tune with the match, and I think that is all because this was AJ's first match. I think he was like legitimately reveling in his wife and her return, but also at times being like, ooh, that kind of looked like a hard bump. You good over there? You good over there? Because there were times where he broke character on a couple of moments where she did something nice, and you look over and he's like, "Yeah, that's my girl." Like
that moment though, when Becky tapped and they had the shot of him on the table, like celebrating, that was good stuff, you know. And that's where too probably just nervous the fact of like, sure they've tagged and done this before, but this is a whole different scenario. They're husband and wife, and
the AJ's husband jacket and everything else. Like, it was fun. The double submission spot was fun. AJ doing her submission on both of them, getting them both into the Black Widow, and then, rolling through there, like, that was fun. So it was a good, fun match, and I enjoyed it. But yes, I will. My biggest criticism, to your point, is Punk no selling like the slaps and stuff from Becky. It made sense the night that AJ Lee returned because, hey, I know I've got backup, so I just got to sit here and take this for a bit. But in that match, again, she's a former women's champion. She's the man. She has wrestled and gone toe-to-toe with men before. Like, her hits and her slaps should make you feel some type of way. This isn't Big Show giving you a WMD, but this is also this is someone giving you a nice little slap. So
no, I agree. I wish they did a little bit of that, but that's should have went on last. Still, to my opinion, that's the crowd was rocking the most. It was into it, and I suppose anything more to say on the mixed tag?
No, like you said, I wouldn't even be opposed if they just ran this back in like Extreme Rules or like a tables match or something like that. I'd be okay with that, but I do think they're gonna go into the AJ Lee and Becky feud. Though I do wonder what Punk does in the meantime, because obviously Seth's gonna be with Cody. And if AJ's doing stuff with Becky, I don't really know what Punk is up to. When
you were talking about, and obviously he's not Australian, but I would not even put it past them that they do Cena and Punk versus the Bronsons or the Bronze. To me, I could see that just as and that could also be War Games, because what's after Survivor Series? What's that pay-per-view? Is that? Did we got one more?
Saturday night's main event. There's no December one.
Because that used to be TLC time.
Yeah, that's what my mind always thinks, that there's a December pay-per-view. So, because you have to blow off Seth and Punk at some point. Like, you have to finally blow it off. You have to be done with this for like a good couple years. And that's the tough thing if they do what we pitched at Brock and Seth and Rumble. Like, I think there's a good chance that Punk and Seth could be a Rumble as well. Like, that could be the final blow off.
Or you could do it like whatever, because I assume like whatever like the day one Raw could be, right? Like maybe they do like just like a full year, like they do like the last match on like the first Raw.
That'd be cool.
Year.
Yeah, that'd be cool. And make it a fucking Iron Man match and make Punk do 60. Let's see what happens. I want to see it, man. Hey, I like when I know some people don't like when he gets. I don't mind in like the match of Gunther when he gets sloppy, because to me I buy that tire. Obviously the spots last night were a little bit different, but yeah, day one that could happen. They just have to blow it off, because I just feel like. That's not the WrestleMania match, even though I think, like we've talked about before, unless it's Austin, I really don't know what the Punk Mania match is. Like, maybe you find another couple that AJ and Punk can face off with, like who's another couple we got. Like, you can always, remember we pitched Punk and Dom before, so you could always do Liv and Dom and AJ and Punk. So there's some other stuff you could do, but yeah, I'll see. And then we hit the main event. Enjoy the match, was good. I just, like I said, I think this should not have gone on last. I could hear there's a few boos for Cody, and I just worry they're gonna like fully Cena Roman him, that they're gonna make people bored of Cody, and I don't think they should do that. I think last night was a good match. I liked the story of him being hurt, so getting through it. I just felt like even the ways we booked it, I was surprised that he just hit Crossroads on. I know Drew was hurt and there's a turnbuckle, but he's beat him, so I don't know.
To me, this was like the first like Kevin Owens match, like the one he had in Berlin, where it was just like kind of like through outside stuff, but not really outside stuff he won. Because that one, the story of that one was like Cody gets like injured in that match, or like kayfabe. It was pretty much the same thing going in, where he was like injured. And like Kevin Owens could have like taken advantage of it.
His neck.
Yeah.
But that didn't close the show though, right? That opened the show, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And that to me was just, it's all about placement. I don't know. I'm just wondering how it's gonna go. The AG one felt better, and just we didn't get a surprise. I'm down for that. I really wanted Drew to win just because Cody's my guy. I just think that now, because he had that long run, there should be a couple more chases. Maybe that will happen. But same thing. I'm curious to see what's going to happen. We're getting closer and closer to Mania season, but I am very excited for Seth and Cody. But yeah, this match was good. To me, this was like a solid 3.75. I couldn't get to the 4.
That's what I gave it.
Yeah, that's where I am. Like 3.75, good match, some good storytelling. Drew's always a delight. I love Drew, man. Like, they've cooled him off, but he has such good character stuff. The other time I knew he was losing too is when they did the title and he fucking like caressed him. Like, oh, he's for sure not winning it now. Like that, because that's such a heel move to be like, oh, look at me.
I know there was one match like recently, I'm trying to remember what it was, where like the person like touched the title and then they actually did end up winning.
Oh,
I'm
really?
trying to think of it now.
If you ever think of it, let me know in the Discord.
It definitely happened, and I was like, it happened. I was like, oh well, they're not winning now, but
reverse psychology.
Yeah. No. So with this match, like wrestling wise, out of the WWE pay-per-views, not counting the night as a whole, but just out of this card out of Wrestlepalooza, I would say this was the second best wrestling match, but it wasn't the second best match. Second best wrestling match, but just not the second best match. I did joke with some of my friends when they're like, oh, Cody wins another one. I was like, well, you got to send the people home happy. I go, you started off on a high. You had the AJ Lee return. Then you had the Stephanie McMahon moment. Now you finish with Cody. You're just skyrocketing this thing going up. But my only parts about this that just seemed a little bit off was there was the moment with the referee sliding out the ring and then sliding back in, and Drew was all pissed about that. And I'm just like, again, this is real life. A guy is coming at you full steam. Why wouldn't you drop out and roll out the ring? That made sense.
Using the commentary table as a weapon is not like we just had a match where four wrestlers were using it as a weapon. I get what I think they're trying to do is, well, last time he did this to Cody, he really hurt him, but it's like, well, whatever, fuck. Like, that's the point of the match.
On SmackDown like 2 weeks ago, when like Randy lost to Drew because he was gonna like actually do the punt kick, and then the referee was like, whoa, that's like a banned move, and Orton's like, what? And then the referee moved out of the way, and then Drew claymored him and won.
Yeah, it's weird. There's 2 in a row that Drew really likes the referee.
I have to think if it was the same referee. That'd be an interesting thing.
I'd be completely fine if they did that, because
we go the whole Brad Maddox thing with the screwball referee, or who else did they do it with? Scott Armstrong was like the corporations, or the authorities referee,
or even like I love this, and they do that a little bit in AEW with Rick Knox, right? Like he kind of like. is easier on the Bucks. But I love they did that with Charles Robinson back day with Ric Flair, right? Because he was a little Nate.
Yeah.
When Rick would break the rules, like, oh well, they're kind of friends, so that's why he lets him do it. So like, I would love if Drew's like this fucking ref, because give him the spot that Brock got where he beats at the ref. Like, I would love if Drew just clay more to ref.
That ref's trying to fuck on me.
Yeah, like, and it's so I love when non-wrestlers take the F5 because like we just saw it this week. Corey, great. I'm happy you can take bumps. That's awesome. He took a bump. The ref, when he picked up that ref, the ref was like, he like lost gravity. He was like, where the fuck? Like, just go flat. Brock will pick you up. But he was like, he almost fucked up the F5 for Brock and luckily Brock's like strong as a fucking ox. But it's like just. Hunker over, but they have no idea what to do with like, why are your arms like this? He's gonna throw you out. You're gonna break an arm. Like, what are you doing? It's just
like tuck in, man. Tuck
yeah,
in.
like just lay flat and take the bump.
There's one where like Brock gave Heyman the F5, and it was like the softest F5.
Yeah.
Like he like barely did anything.
I think I kind of remember that because I feel like it was really anticlimactic when it happened. I was like, oh, okay.
Because it was like through a table too, and he just like lightly F5'd them.
Yes, right, the table.
It was the tractor match.
Yeah.
With Roman.
My second issue with this was the Drew McIntyre going for the Claymore, the legs buckling. It just seemed goofy for two guys who have been putting on a great match. That just seemed like a goofy spot of oh no, my leg buckled, I can't do the run and things like that.
I liked that spot. I liked that one because he just heard it, David. He's like, oh,
but the way that he fell, come on, that was some goofy
it's
acting.
Funny you say that because the one that I've seen people hate, the Cody sell when he goes to do the kick and he like falls down, because like I think people just have an obsession with how Cody Rhodes walks in general. But like I was like,
I thought that one was like good. Or
I liked it because I thought he tore a hammy. Like I said last night, like oh no. Cody's down. See wrestling.
It looks like such a I fell on a banana peel moment.
That's fair. Yeah, they both had a bit of those, but for me, it still bugs me that Drew does the 3 count for the Claymore when he's a fucking heel. Like, why is he doing that? Why 3? I always hated that. I understand why he does it. It's like the Sweet Chin music, but it just seems goofy in a match. Like Sweet Chin music, I don't know. I shouldn't excuse either because it makes no sense. Why are you stomping and because
he's charging it up.
Tuning up the band.
Well, no, I think the kayfabe reason they used to say is when an opponent was down, if he stomped on the mat, it would wake them up like dazedly.
So
that's the kayfabe reason. But Drew counting, if you hear that anytime, like I'm rolling the fuck out of the ring, I'm not getting up. Like I will come pin me. Like
I think Randy Orton did do that. Randy Orton he started the count and Randy got and then he just fell and rolled out the ring and it was just great. If you're going to telegraph it for me like that and you have the entire crowd chanting with the I'm going to roll out the ring. You're not going to do this to me.
Again, when he's a babyface, I don't care at all because it's like you're part of babyface. Your whole shtick is like I feed off the people, right? So you want them chanting. But Drew, who like on record hates the fucking WWE universe, why is he wanting them to count with them? But I think they have I think there is legitimately a 5-star match potential there. It's just a question of if we get it or not. It reminds me of Becky and Lyra, where I thought their last one was going to be that, but then we got those Bayley shenanigans and it didn't really go that route. That's always my worry with Randy. Like, I think Cody and people might think I'm dumb, but like, I think Cody and Drew could have like a match to your candidate with the story and the right stip and the right situation. But I don't know. I think there's going to be a lot of stuff going on, but so I hope, they run it back and I don't know. And like I said, I would love it if Drew run, or I'm still not opposed to what you pitched us about somehow doing the triple threat, and that's how Randy wins. And that's how we get to Cody and Randy at Mania. Like I take Cody and Randy as a great like option, and I've always said before, even if they don't main event the show, that's fine because Cody's main evented like WrestleMania 39, 41. Both nights, 40 or 40 both nights. Like he says, he can take a like Roman. He can take like a break. He doesn't have. Well, Roman actually hasn't taken a break. The triple threat, right? But like him and Randy could open a fucking WrestleMania and have a hot match, But
they don't need the Roman going 6 main events of WrestleMania in a row or whatever it was. Yeah, they could.
Well, he's still on the streak. It hasn't. I think the last time he hasn't main event WrestleMania is when he fought Drew. Actually, when he came back from cancer. I think ever since then. Whether it's the night 1 or night 2, he's been in the main event.
The COVID 36.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'll asterisk that because he would have been with Goldberg, right? He would have been spearing Goldberg all over the place. But like, I think that like he still has that streak going. I think he's gonna again too. I think like because obviously him and Seth could be a viable option this year.
And I do want Drew to get a championship win outside of the COVID era with fans and to hold it for a while. And you know what? Even have him run it once he's champion, have him run it back with CM Punk because I think they had some banger matches now. Do it with the title on the line. And
they still never did Drew, Seth, and Punk. How they never did that triple threat is beyond me.
Which would be an absolute banger. So there's so many options while still keeping Cody strong. But yeah, overall, good match, fun match. Second best wrestling match, Jess. I agree that the AJ match should have finished off the show. Give her that moment. Give her the confetti. Give her the fireworks. Give her everything to truly send the crowd home happy.
And even without that, it was just the more like hyped match for the crowd. Like that was just like that had the people going. You know,
yeah.
like that was.
It was like, all right, we're done celebrating, and here's the Undertaker for a weird Hall of Fame segment.
Yeah.
So
I will say it on. I think I've said on site or here, but in case I haven't, my conspiracy theory is they put in Triple H last year and they're putting Stephanie in this year so they can get rid of him at any point, and they're like, oh, we got to bring him back for the Hall of Fame. They're already in. I'm telling you, I don't think it's happening, but I'm just saying that's my conspiracy theory for why they're going in the Hall of Fame right now. Because the fact it's not Cena is a little odd. No Batista still. Like, we're still waiting and everything. But, yeah, it was odd to do it so early in the year. I know people have...
I think someone said, like, is this the earliest one ever? And apparently there was like one a very long time ago that was like announced, but even then that one was like this was a month earlier than even that one. So this is like the earliest one.
I feel like with both Bruno Sammartino and with Ultimate Warrior, those were announced pretty early, but both of those were like big linchpin moments. Like Ultimate Warrior coming back was around the release of the game, so it was like a little bit after that in the late October time. Bruno Sammartino was a big deal, so they announced that you knew who the headliner is. I think I have a feeling that this year's headliner might be Cena, so you finish him out this year.
It's Stephanie.
And then,
there's no
and go on.
I was gonna say, you know what? I don't think
McMahon.
Cena's going in, but you could have like Cena inductor or something like that.
No, you've already said that Undertaker's going to induct her.
Oh,
he
they
said,
did say that?
he said, it's my
I thought that was
pleasure.
just him
No, I
saying,
think
like,
it's just him
I'm-
announcing. I don't think he's actually inducting her. Don't get me
I was
wrong.
gonna say it's gonna be Triple H, so he can give another 45-minute speech.
It's gonna be Triple H, or I know people are gonna think I'm crazy.
Here comes the money.
No, Shane could be. No, I think I would not surprise me if it's fucking Vince. Because people are gonna be like, well, it's his daughter and it's something special, or her mom. I think Linda is a better option because she's been at WWE events. She's been at the Hall of Fame after all this Vince stuff. That's what I'll say. I bet it's gonna be
busy
Linda.
fucking up the American education
Well,
system
she's
right
going to
now.
take 5 minutes out of her time to go induct her daughter. I'm going to say it's Linda, but I would
Everyone go read a book that night at your last opportunity.
Yeah, like I think it's going to be Linda in my opinion. It could be Triple H because of course he would. Yeah, of course he would. But yeah, we'll see. So
his music playing, not hers.
Yeah. Anything else WWE related we haven't hit upon yet?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay, so yeah, we will. Like I said, I think what we're gonna do is either we'll see.
So I think Wrestle Dream is like a month or a week after.
It's the 18th.
Crown
Yeah.
Jewel.
So it's
I
11.
do have one request for all the AEW executives who I know are listening. Now that we have Stephanie Vaquer as champion and we have Natalya on Raw, give me Natty. Stop giving it to Mexico. I want to see it. Have her fight the Chilean.
I'll just say I've watched the Natty matches, and in my opinion, like, people are overhyping the Natty gimmick. Like, she literally, I would say, like, what I was saying before is, like, she wrestles the exact same, just with a serious face on. But even
she does,
now, like,
but the commentary
it's not even
actually.
just, It's not
the commentary
even her
gives her respect
face.
though.
Like she still does like the smile. Like she puts on the sharpshooter and she still does the smiling face. Like she wrestles. She is the exact same character. People are just like, oh, this character is so much better. She is the exact same.
No, it's more of the respect that she gets as that character rather than her wrestling style. Yes, her wrestling style does stay the same, but it's more of the respect that they give her, not only from a commentary, but also a presentation aspect, which is something I think that
David's biggest argument on the gimmick is about over Natty Neidhart. You know, who would have thunk? What an episode. But yeah, I have heard what I see both sides, because I think David's right with the presentations there, but I have seen the memes of she puts in the sharpshooter and like, yeah, baby, and it's the smile. So like she should, she should pull back a little bit to get there. I'm down with David.
I've liked her in like Bloodsport more than like just like normal wrestling matches. Like I think she does cooler stuff there.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
They should call up Lola Vice to the main roster so you can do the underground.
Have him managed by Josh Barnett. He finally makes his big. He's the bridge between AEW and WWE.
He came out with Goldberg. Do you remember?
He did. What a pairing. Oh God. Well, anyway, so yeah, we'll see what happens there. Now we move on to All Out. I thought All Out was a great show. I think it was better than Forbidden Door. I think it's. Other than AEW, I think like All In or some of their bigger shows where it's like it's a long show, but almost every match is like a big match. There's multiple matches on this card you could cut and make a Dynamite main event, a Collision main event. I think that's just always, unfortunately, going to be a con with AEW. Like that's why, unless it's those big shows and unless every match is a 3.75 and up, then because something like All In, to me, that was like a 5 out of 5 show. Even if not all the matches were great, it all felt like it had a purpose, a story. It was meant to be there. With this is at least 3 I'm looking at you could cut, and some are after the fact, right? Like for me, it's like Monet and Rio. Once we saw the quality, it's like, yeah, that didn't need to be here. I would have rather. Again, none. We don't need the multi-woman tag all the time. Like that is like what I would have done is take Tekla out of the 4-way and let her and Queen Aminata had like the weapons match on this show instead of Monet and Rio. Like there is changes I would make, but I digress. That I think this was a really fun show for the big stuff. I think they delivered a lot. Toronto was hot for the most part, and this was
I don't know, like people like the crowd was like. Weird, especially people are pointing out for like the women's matches, they were like pretty silent the entire time.
I heard that about Monet and Rio, but it's like I wouldn't have been getting hyped for this. Like Rio was not. Yeah. I had not seen the match that she had on Dynamite or whatever, but I had heard about, because I missed that Dynamite. I had heard that it was not a good match, and when I was watching here, it's like Monet was carrying her the entire time. In my opinion, it was really tough. So I guess you're right, S-Bubs. I meant for maybe the bigger stuff that was happening, like the Thumbtacks match. The crowd was obviously because it's Thumbtacks, but it's just like they added to like the obviously Edge and Christian was there. The main event they were hot for, so that's where. But I agree. Then the women's 4-way, I think also that was to me kind of like it was good, but it was kind of
weird match.
It was clunky. Yeah, it was odd. Yeah. So that's what it's like. I think they did quiet down, but for me, it's like I wasn't surprised when they did quiet down. I guess
I'm not really getting the hype behind Thekla, not to the degree that
I'm on a Thekla bandwagon over here. Not when she has a mic though.
Getting pushed like. She is always in these crazy positions, and I'm just like,
she's the female Tajiri, man.
I remember Travis.
She's good, but
at her debut when she took out.
Jamie. I was, because all I'd heard about people complaining about how she. See, I'm on the opposite. That I don't think the promos those aren't good, but her in the ring, I think she's really dynamic. I like her. I don't think last night was a best showing for really anybody, but what do you think of the show overall, Dave? Because we're getting in the single match, so we'll do the show and then we'll get back to the 4-way.
Yeah, there's 2 matches that I think could have been cut, and 2 more matches that I think could have been augmented, not only in the time but also the participants that would have just made the show incredibly
David wants
better.
Tekla off the show.
no,
that's what he's saying. Augmented,
not necessarily Tekla, but I mean the ending. Hangman and Kyle Fletcher, they gave an amazing match, man. And those dead eyes like had me really wondering about Fletcher. I'm like, is he okay? Especially the one through the table. I'm like, is he all right?
He did the table where his head bounced when they did the
where he just got dropped.
He's like, I know everyone complains about me hurting people, so please hurt me tonight, Hangman, so people can
do the
feel bad
buckshot afterwards, and he kind of lands awkwardly on the side of his shoulder at that point. I'm like, well, if that didn't break his neck, this obviously broke his collarbone. Like, my man is going through it all. But I'm very happy that they just let those guys go, and they didn't find any weird shenanigans, any unannounced new member of the Don Callis family that's going to be.
Callis didn't do anything. He just sat there, which was great. I thought for sure he's getting the monkey.
He's not one of ours. We can't be in trouble type deal. Like they just let him have an incredible match, and so that was really good. As much as I thought that MJF was going to win his match, Mark Briscoe winning was. They put on a damn good match, and I love the ending of that. Just you've been talking shit on me and my fan. I am going to put you away. So, I think it had a great start, a good middle, a great end. It was just some other tidbits in there that I think for having 14 matches overall. And I also, why, Tony, knowing everything that has happened to you in the last 2 years, I get the insight joking of it all, but why name part of your pre-show the Brawl Out at All Out?
They're accepting it, man. They're
just no.
I'm just surprised they didn't have the Bucks on there. You know, like that to me was the key to do it. But
just name the ladder match the Brawl Out.
Exactly. You know, so. What we asked was because I think you watched most of it until
most of it
up until the last two, I think.
Yeah, I didn't see the ladder match, and then I saw like the second half of like Edge and Christian. Like I didn't see the very start of it, but I enjoyed the show overall. I think from what I did see, I thought I liked all the matches pretty much. I'd have to think.
Where are you on the Tekla side of things?
I don't really have like an opinion either way. I guess I don't know.
How do you feel about Tekla versus Natty?
That the WWE AEW dream show when Netflix buys
in an old school Lions Den match. Ken Shamrock, special guest referee.
Where is Shamrock? Why have they not brought him back for anything? He's in the games. He's not in the Hall of Fame yet. You know where?
I think he was like talking mad shit recently, so that may be why.
He's not gonna be in 2K26, I guess.
I'd have to think. I don't know what my favorite match was.
You're King Moxley in the coffin.
Actually, well, I don't know, because even then, that one like they did go like I said in the Discord, like right when I said like I was expecting it to be crazier, they brought out like the fork and stuff. But even then, like with the ending and stuff, which like Pac and the Death Riders coming out, I still felt like it needed something more. But now seeing that they're probably gonna have a rematch, I imagine that's where it'd be. So
they just saved some of it.
Yeah. So I guess I'd say my favorite one was probably like the thumbtacks match, I guess.
Yeah. No, they're just saving something. And again, that was weird because like no one on the roster is gonna come help this dude. Like they're gonna maybe murder him, and it's like I hate storylines where it's the whole company hates this faction, but then when it's like they're doing something, we can't do anything. It's just like it's just 2 pay-per-views in a row of that, and then the ending of Forbidden Door where they're killing Will Ospreay and they could climb the fucking cage where they just let him die. It's just like you baby faces suck, man. You all suck. You're awful. Like the Death Riders deserve to kill you all. It's just dumb. It's dumb stuff. I hate when they do that.
Like there was a segment with Mox and Darby after this because I did miss that. Like what happened there?
It's so dumb. So they go back. They're just pulling the coffin, the coffin, and then they get in the truck. Like everybody but Moxley's like, just leave me here with him. And
who are these 16-year-olds in a small town high school? Like everyone jumping in the back of the pickup pack.
That's the Death Rider mobile.
That's what they do. Yeah, it is.
So but they had 2 of them because there's so many fucking members now.
They leave him, and then of course once the truck pulls away, that's when Darby pops up and starts he has like a wrench and he's beating up Moxley, and then he put Moxley in a body bag, he sprayed it with gasoline and then lit it on fire, and Moxley's like, and then guys
and they immediately extinguished it like immediately.
To me, that's where it's like I don't think it was live, but that's where it's like do something more cinematic, like to make it like look like he's on fire for a little longer. But that's why I think they're gonna have like a fireball match, or they might do an exploding barbed wire match. Like they legitimately, I think because once you introduce the fire, I feel like that's just they're gonna go that route, and hopefully, like the thing about the Omega Moxley match, it actually was really good up until the ending. The ending really screwed it over. That was the first blunder AEW ever had, but the match itself is good. So I think they're gonna do that and just make sure their pyro is on lock for this match.
Yeah. You have to like test it out before.
Yeah, multiple times. And at that point, just have like TNT with you and just throw it if it doesn't go off. Like this has to be big.
Yeah.
So.
And going back to the first exploding barbed wire match, when that didn't go off, I was like, man, they missed an incredible opportunity to like cut to Tony Khan in the back, like messing around with something and pretending like I stopped this because I know you agreed to this, but I don't want my wrestlers hurt. No, they just
just cut to black and
let it all happen.
Graphic,
like
we couldn't show you. Like that's what they could have done. Cut to black and be like, show because there's a delay.
Like, the mess up there is that like because I forget who like some people like run out immediately and like are
Eddie Kingston runs out and carries.
No, because Eddie's the one in the ring, and so the issue that came up is like he's in the ring and he like. Obviously, like he was like covering, I think, was it Mox?
Moxley.
Yeah. So obviously he didn't see that it like didn't go off correctly.
Yeah,
so he's selling it, but then like people immediately ran out to play it like, oh, it didn't go off. So they go and help him. He's still selling like he died when it didn't go off. So I don't know why I couldn't just have like I don't know done some different camera angles once it didn't go off, but
Yeah, and I get it too. It's all retrospect too, right? Because that's probably the last thing you're thinking about. Like, even if it goes off, it's not going to look like this. Because the other stuff was working, right? When they're hitting, so it's like I think they just thought, oh, it's all good, and then of course just these little pew fireworks. But yeah, I just
like how in Fight Forever, there's like a cheat code, like an up, down, down, A, B type thing where you do that before you pick the game mode, and it does like the sparklers explode.
Yeah, and they were smart. The next Wednesday, they made Callis and Kenny Omega meme it like that's the classic 69 me Dawn, like all this stuff. Like they were smart back then. That's again where I wish they were smart with the Punk stuff, because when the Punk stuff happened, they all became like corporate, all hoity-toity businessman. It's like, what did you guys used to handle like your guys' fuck ups and stuff? You used to make jokes and you used to like make money off it, but not that time. But,
they had Michael Nakazawa pouring himself with baby oil because of the whole slip thing.
Yeah, but I don't know how much more I need. Like, I was ready for this to be the match where Darby kills Moxley, gets the win, and we move on, and then you start to do drama with the Death Riders. I don't need this to go on any longer, really. I'm not saying you have to disband the Death Riders, because I think I like the Garcia stuff. Also, we didn't talk about that. He officially turned heel. I hate his gear, just like the gym shorts. He looks like a geek. Like, he looks like a loot. Like, that guy, luckily he's a heel. You're not getting over wearing that stuff. You're not seeing Punk in ROH, okay? Only he could do the fight shorts. That's it. Like, it doesn't work. You expect... The only time it can work is if you are a Deacon Batista looking motherfucker. Daniel Garcia is just a really in-shape toned guy, and that's fine, but you can't be wearing gym shorts, and that was always an all against Punk, right? But Punk had this huge personality, the bleach blonde, like, he had a fucking look to him, where Daniel Garcia's the, like, white meat heel, like, pretty much, you know?
When
like,
Punk started off with the gym shorts, it was more, he looked like, I'm the guy who is just here to wrestle. Like, I can't afford all the fancy gear, the Tyson, things like that. Yeah. This is what I got. I got some fucking gym shorts and some cheap ass elbow pads.
Which
and let's
I hated
go.
back then. I do not like wrestlers in those shorts. I do not. It just does not work for me. I've never made a caw with those shorts. Like, it looks like at any point in the middle of the match, if you're about to lose, they could just fucking pants you and then roll you up. And I would do that as a heel. But so I like that. I like that dynamic. I'm fine with what they're doing with the Riders. I just don't need. I just worry Darby Moxley's going to go on for like 3 to 6 more months, like for a lot longer. You know, like Darby's going to want to climb Mount Everest again, and they're going to kill him. You know, so. Let's see. We can go back to the 4-way, because we're talking about that. This is the thing where it took down points for me too, as far as happy with the win. Just weird decision where they do the 4-way. So it's Tony, Tekla, Jamie Hayter, and Chris Statlander. Chris Statlander gets the win really out of nowhere. I thought, the match was just kind of fine. Just felt like something was off. Maybe they got, I don't know if they got time. I doubt in AEW that their time cut, but it felt like that. It felt like a match where it's like, hey, you guys had 20, you got 15. Sorry. Like, and that happens all the time, right? But I doubt that happened. It just, we talked about this, I think, on the predictions. I think we were all down for Tony losing here, but to do the classic, well, she didn't get pinned, and that's the story. To have her be the one get pinned, unless they are turning Tony back to like the old school Hollywood Tony Storm where she turns heel and she goes nuts. I don't know why, like, have Statlander get that in a one-on-one then. You know, like, I did not like that we went through Monet, we went through Athena, and it's just this, like, quick, like, bridge pin, and that gets her. I like sneak pins, don't get me wrong, but for Statlander finally to win her first ever AEW world title this way felt very anticlimactic. Like, this could have been a moment. This could have been like a, you know, top 10 women's AEW moment, but just kind of out of nowhere. So I love Statlander. It's great that she has a title. Maybe she has a contract coming up too, and Tony knows that the Fed's going to be after, because I've said before that Statlander and Hayter should go.
Outside of Eddie and Big Bill, this was the shortest match. It was,
it was super short. It was under 10 minutes, wasn't it?
I got
11 minutes 59 seconds.
Yeah, and Monet and Rio got 16. Come on now.
It felt short, and this is one of those that I would have augmented just a little bit. And the fact that if you are going to have her pin Tony Storm and be the new champion, that should be a one-on-one crowning match. The only reason to do the Fatal 4-Way is to have either someone else take the pin, or, you know, to take her out of the equation altogether, and then Tony continue to be who she is. But if you are just going to do, hey, this is Statlander's crowning achievement, you did not, and the other participants, as much as I like 1.5 of the other participants, it was not something that needed to happen there. You could have just done a one-on-one. You didn't need all 4, and just have them go. Like, I like Jamie Hayter, but it wasn't. This wasn't really a match for her.
Because
Thekla was there.
The weird thing with Hayter is they've never played this up at all. When Hayter got injured, they did the storyline where what the hell was Riot and Paige? What were they again?
Not the Outsiders,
the Outcasts, something like that. Yeah. So they did a storyline where they beat Jamie Hayter up backstage. So then Tony Storm went in there, hit a couple Storm Zeros, and beat her. Right? It was an injury thing where Hayter still accepted the match. To me, I'm not saying you had to make Hayter full heel, but the story is there that, hey, it doesn't matter, you're a babyface now. A long time ago, you fucked me over. Like, you had to cheat to beat me, and I never really lost that title clean. They've either mentioned it or just great, like, oh, well, you know, back in the day, it's like, no, that should be a moment where it's like, I don't care if the crowd loves you. You fucked me over. Like, everyone.
It's like the LA Knight with the Usos. That's why it doesn't like them, because they cost them the
and I
title.
like that. I think they could have done more with that, but that's where it's like, Hayter did have the urgency to be in this match. They just didn't give it to her. They didn't explain that storyline. And to me, I thought what they were going to go. I thought they were going to flip Hayter back to heel because she would lose this and it would be like, fuck this person. Like, they keep making me lose, and I should have never lost. But it's just Statlander, and what bugs me about Statlander is they did the same thing with her and Jade, where Jade, I can't remember, David, who she versed, but it was a pay-per-view, and Jade was like the longest reigning TBS champ. She had a match, and then after, she's like, if anybody else back there in the warehouse, the locker room thinks they could beat me, step up. And Chris Leonard came out, hit a couple moves to finish her, and beat her. So they did like a cash-in, and it was like, why? And it was like to protect Jade, but then guess what happened with Jade? She came back, she wrestled Chris Statlander, and then she fucking left. So you didn't have to protect her at all. So it's like 2 times with Statlander when she's had her big moment. It's like, it's weird. She doesn't have like that moment, like that, like Hangman at All In. Like, wow, she finally did it. Like, it's just super, super odd, even though I like Statlander, right? So I don't know. I really don't know. And we've bitched about this before. I wish they just kept Statlander heel then. If she was a heel winning this way, it would have worked. If she would have grabbed the tights or something, because they had something cooking with Statlander as a heel. She beat Will Nightingale in that like whatever weapons match, and she was really working. And then like, she's a babyface again. It's just whoever is booking.
No, see, I think that Chris and Jade and the Tony and Jamie angles were on the same show, because I just
really
looked it up,
that's funny,
because it's double or nothing 2020.
Who did Jade fight before?
She fought Taya Valkyrie, but they're literally they're one match apart. Like it says, Tony Storm with Ruby Soho and Saraya defeats Jamie Hayter in 3 minutes for the title. Then there's a House of Black trios match. Oh, that's the one where Max Caster said Buddy's being cucked by Dominic.
Oh,
and then
right.
and then after that, and then after that you have Jade defeats Taya, and then Chris defeats Jade in 50 seconds.
So all my complaints go back to this one pay-per-view.
Yeah.
These two,
well, this is like the infamously bad. Like this one has like the Adam Cole versus Jericho match.
Oh yeah, that is a bad one.
What else?
What main evented that show?
The Four Pillars match.
I like that match. I'm a defender of that match.
The main event is the Anarchy and the Arena match. So
I'm actually a defender of the Pillars. Like... I enjoyed the Pillars match, and it's MJF kind of being like a comedy champion, but I'll defend that all day. Solid 4 stars.
Both those like angles were on literally the same show, like one match apart.
So yeah, again, that always happens to be one of AEW's weakest thing, right? They got a lot of talent, but the women, they have an issue with booking sometimes. But we'll go back.
Also, what do you think this important announcement from Tony Khan? Because some of the speculation I've seen is like either like the women's tag titles, or they're announcing like a women's Continental Classic.
Give me the CC for sure. I've also seen people talking about being a men's tag CC, which I don't want, but people just talk about because there's so many men's tag team right now.
I've also seen people like maybe Tony like announces like that like Revolution 2027, like the counter show for like that he talked about.
I don't know.
That could be something.
Tony doesn't always have a good track record with
one of
announcements.
his important announcements was like tickets are all in or on sale, and it was just like a backstage segment.
It's tough because he did stop doing them, so I think they realized, hey, this isn't. People are getting too hyped for what they think, so he hasn't done this
especially after the Christian Cage thing. Now that ended up working out pretty well, but at the time. So he hyped that we've got this new signing. It is a Hall of Famer. He's going to change the
Hall
game.
Hall of Fame quality, because he's not Hall of Famer.
It's the biggest thing. Like, it's like we've got someone. We're bringing him in, and
this was before Punk came back. So a lot of people were,
and everyone was like, "Who could it be? Future Hall of Famer, future this, all these great things." And then it's Christian Cage, and he comes out. He looks. He signs his contract, and then he walks right back.
I was in the minority, as I'm a massive Edge and Christian fan. I was fucking hyped, but yeah, Twitter did not share my sentiment. I was like, just Christian. But like Dave said, it ended up working out because Christian Cage became one of their best heel characters of all time for that.
But it was weeks of we've got this future Hall of Famer coming. It's going to change everything about. And it was around the time that the Elite were like starting to get into their heel stuff, and Kenny was getting into his heel stuff, and it's like, we've got someone who's going to come in and he's going to turn AEW around and blah blah, and the
John Morrison AEW debut, because like the Titantron pops up and says like Johnny Elite, and even the AEW account tweeted like Johnny Gargano is all Elite.
Everyone thought it was Johnny. That was brutal. That was brutal all over because it was Gargano, which you could argue maybe should have made the jump, and brutal because like anytime John Morrison's on my screen, I turn the channel off. I'll say top 5 overrated wrestler of all time. Top 5 overrated wrestler of all time. I remember when this fucking guy was John Morrison, people were saying he's the next Shawn Michaels. Give me a break, man. This guy, he can flip. That's what he can do. He flip and he has great abs. He has fantastic abs.
He is the definition of a spot monkey. They talk about like the Young Bucks and things like that. No, he's there for the spots. He's there for the moments. Outside of that, like I've never thought, man, this is a legitimate contender. I mean, even when
2009 to 2011, people were pushing this guy like he's the fucking next Messiah. I never understood it. I just never got it. Just but yeah, back to Affley mentioned Christian Cage there. You had Christian Cage and Cope. I don't know what the hell they're calling themselves. It's Edge and Christian.
Edge and Christian.
It's Edge and Christian versus FTR. And I said this last gimmick, and I'm happy. Was this an all-timer? No. This reminded me of the mixed tag where they did some wrestling, but then the back half's just a lot of fun spots, counters, Beth, Stokely. And funny, the same thing, like near the end, they started doing like spots with the announce table. That's like, it was eerily similar what was going on, but to me, I said all I need this to be is like a 4 out of 5, and Edge is not completely washed. And guess what, my friends? Edge is not completely washed. Now he should probably stay in the tag division. I said there's a couple like Omega, Swerve, MGF. There's a few more singles, but to me, like you can do like a fun semi-moment cinematic match. There's a good time, and I was actually kind of happy. Sounds bad, but I was happy when they pile drove Beth because like I think. I'm down for them to do a series of these with different steps and everything. So I enjoyed this a lot. It was a great opener, and I had lots of fun with this. I'm happy it was because I worried it could have been Moxley. Like there's a world where this is a 2.
Your love for
because people were talking about Edge. I was like, no, he's still got it.
You were the one who was like, yeah, Mox and Adam Copeland, they're gonna have a great match.
That was probably next to Omega my most anticipated Edge match because he killed it with Roman. He killed it with Seth, and I'm like, I wish he met Mox like 2 years earlier, like when Mox wasn't doing
or like 6 months late, like now.
yeah, exactly. Like just the wrong time. Maybe they'll run it back with the Edge and Christian versus the Death Riders, but no, this was just like a fun opener. That's all it was, and that's what it needed to be. And I do hope that Beth is actually signed. I don't think she is, but I'd like to see her wrestle like a couple people. But we didn't even get her versus Rhea 1-on-1, so I don't even know if she's that interested in doing much wrestling other than the odd, mixed tag here and there. So
yeah, the appearances or coming in and helping out a little bit is all I really see her doing. I will say that FTR were the perfect opponents for this returning Edge and Christian because they have the old school wrestling feel. When the match needs to slow down, they could do it and it would work. Okay, we're going to get into the technical aspect of it, like they were separating Christian from getting back to the corner, and they were using old school, just tag team moves.
Just really like 80s, 90s type of wrestling.
Yeah, but I think that worked because you're slowing down with the moves and the time between moves, so that's giving Edge time to catch his breath. Christian time to catch his breath, and then once they do get the tag and things like that, Edge comes in. He comes in hot before again FTR takes back control, and it's given now Christian time to be on the outside, catch his breath, and it never looks like there is a break in the action because this is how these moves work. This is how these mechanics work for these guys. So yeah, they were the perfect comeback in. I will say, out of everything, you've got people singing Copeland's theme song, you got all these moments, but the crowd chanting "No hose to Stokely" and the "He's our father" to Christian were just
shirt. Did they already make a Christian father shirt? If not, they should have at this point.
I am just the fact that even as the baby face of this, his heel tactics or his smug asshole nature is still getting over is just great.
Yeah, we didn't talk about it. We talked about it a little bit, but they talked about in some interview where they thought that was a fun dynamic, and I actually like that Christian is just still fucking screw your dad, Christian. Like, because that's what we always said. Like, it would feel very odd for him to be like
all this virtue and
it just didn't work because the way they set up the story, like Christian was a piece of shit with his stable. Like, there's no way you can redeem this guy who's like making jokes about this guy's dad and banging his mom, be like, hey, I fucked you. Like that you can't like, I don't know. It's just so I'm happy they've done this, and I think he might get a little bit more babyface now that they beat down Beth. I could see a little bit of that dropping, but that makes sense storyline wise now, right? Because like, hey, you put your hands on my best friend's wife, like you can't do that. Even though Christian said he would like sleep with Beth, it's like this is like a different level, right? Where it's like, I was just making jokes, but you actually hurt her, so I gotta, so
I put the t-shirt in our Gimmick group chat of the Christian is my father t-shirt.
Terrible shirt though. Like I would never buy that, but like I'm glad they made a shirt. But
there's a Nick Wayne's mom shirt out there too on the AEW shop.
God, any thoughts about this match, I suppose?
No, I thought it was a fun time. Definitely got the crowd hyped. And I enjoyed it. Yeah, they're definitely gonna run it back, and it worked well because I just said like this was obviously teaming with FTR and having a match against them was something he wanted to, like, even when he was in WWE, that was like one of the things he wanted to do. So
all those old timers, they were like, obviously because they're old timers, but all those guys really like FTR. Like Orton was a big fan because I don't know if you ever saw this, but they were before FTR didn't sign. They were running with like a Orton FTR group, and they were like a faction for like I think like 3 to 4 weeks, and then they didn't re-sign. But like even Punk, right? Punk's good friends with them. Like
and know the story I heard on. Did you watch the that Tokyo tape video? That,
no, I haven't actually. No,
I watched it. And FTR were talking about specifically the reason how they got their release is actually because of FTRKO, because basically they caught like I forget like some other wrestler in WWE told them like like a lot of your copyrights are like not copyright, like you can just copyright these yourself before WWE does, and so they got a bunch of copyrights relating to like Randy Orton and FTR type stuff, and they're like, we're not gonna give them back unless you give us our release. So they were like, fine, we'll like you like we'll give you FTRKO and like all this other stuff if you give us our release, and we keep FTR ourselves.
Yeah, and that makes sense too because that was around the time
and they got no non-compete. Like they said, they could have shown up on Dynamite like the week of, but I think the week they got released was like. The week they got the release, like themselves, was like the week of COVID starting.
Yeah, because they came in the COVID era.
They could have shown up like if they wanted to, but they decided to like take two weeks off or something like that. And just then was when COVID hit.
Yeah, no, it was a fun little tea, but yeah, because that was the time that Randy Orton was also free agent, and then the rumor was that he was using Tony Khan to get the price of, and then Tony exposed that on Twitter, and then they got in a whole argument, and yeah, it was a whole moment where Tony Khan and Randy Orton were tweeting back and forth at each other, just dropping bombs on each other, but yeah, I think Randy made the right choice. I don't think AEW's don't get me wrong, there's some great bangers he would have had in AEW, but I think people would have turned on him.
I think he probably would have gone back to WWE by now.
Yes, yeah, I agree. It would have been like a short, 2-year contract, and he would have been getting brawl outs.
Like in COVID era, like I don't know what he would have been doing. Like who would he even been like facing?
Randy would have popped his shoulder back out of place and stayed home.
They would have ran back. They would have done Cody and Randy for sure for like the TNT title. They would have done that. And actually, at that point, was Kenny heel champ in COVID?
I think so.
It was during COVID it was during the back end of COVID that everything really popped off with him being heel champ.
Yeah, let me find out because like that right there.
Because that was also during the time that the whole Impact stuff happened as well.
So it ended in 2000. No, so yeah, it was near the end, but it ended in 2021. So right, we were just talking about COVID in December 2021. So you would have got a Revolution poster with fucking Kenny Omega on one side and Randy on one side. They for sure would have ran in Kenny's title run. Absolutely, they would have done Randy and Kenny and whatnot, and that would have that would have banged. And that's what I love too. That happened. Yeah, I wish.
Yeah, because pre-COVID Kenny won that match. Yeah, pre-COVID Kenny was losing to Jericho and then going on the run.
The Bucks and him jobbed, and that I agreed with Meltzer and other people that for the first couple of years of AEW, as Bub's like, anytime the Bucks and Kenny would job in big matches, they would, and they lost a lot. And it was like, dude, you guys gotta stop. Like Kenny lost, he lost Jericho, Pac, and like he's losing everything. It was like, what do you do? Like the Bucks lost to the Private Party in the first tag team tournament, and I was fine with that at the time, but then they kept losing. So
yeah, and then he ended up going on the tag team run with Hangman for a while.
Which that really helped big time because that was a big moment for them, and that Bucks match was big. But I think it's just because. Even Cody, right? He did that match with Jericho that if I lose, I can't challenge for the title. I think they were just all super scared of being the EVPs and everyone fucking hating them by like you're on top. But business has shown from the 70s to the 90s, even now. So it's like that was usually the smartest thing was like when Dusty was booking, why was he the champ? Because he knew he was going to show up. He knew he was a draw and he knew he didn't have to worry about being like holding himself up. So like that was a mistake Cody did too. Cody was white hot in AEW and they should have never done that. And Cody said that was his idea and that was a mistake. They should have never taken the title opportunity away from him because Yeah.
They looked more at it like the Vince Russo or Jeff Jarrett style of booking, where I'm the booker, so I'm the champion.
Or Triple H 02, right? Even though Triple H wasn't the booker, that was the whole thing of look at Triple H. He's dating
Kevin
Stephanie.
Nash and Hulk Hogan, all that other stuff. Like,
exactly.
I get you not wanting
to
be known in that instance, but man, you're Kenny freaking Omega. For you to be the inaugural AEW champion, no one would have batted an eye. Yeah. You had been tearing it up. It's not like you guys are just some random upstarts. You have been tearing it up in Japan for years. You were a legitimate contender. No one would have batted an eye if that was the case. But this is how you plant your flag.
We got number 30 entrant in the Rumble. Jericho's your first ever AEW champion, so we got that coming up. Let's see. Next we had, I have not much to say, Eddie Kingston, Big Bill. A mess. A big mess. Big Bill was not ready for the spot. And I'm not saying it's all on Big Bill. Kingston, there was times where, like, that fall away slam they kept going for is like, stop. Like, they did it twice, and it's like, either Big Bill, you're not strong enough, or Eddie's non-shape enough. Like, it was... This felt like a match where if I was watching NXT, I'd be like, these guys aren't even ready to be on the main roster. Everyone has a bad day at the office, right? But, and man...
The finisher
finish
completely I don't care what Brian says.
He missed.
Brian's like, oh, he got a little bit of the chin. No, he missed.
That's Brian's job,
missed.
Right? He's doing his best thing because that was the end. Like, what should have happened is Big Bill should have kicked out and someone should have said, do it again. Like, hit me again.
Yes.
Like, it was for... all around how they brought Eddie Kingston back. It's not like a oh my god all-timer, but it's
built
just like
it up on Instagram threads.
Yeah, super underwhelming. Like, they should have just had him fucking in the Moxley match, help Darby do something, get a pop there. Like, the fact that there's this build up, Big Bill out of all people calling him out, the match is bad, and then him and Hook come out together as a team. Hook's getting no reactions.
We don't need
this guy. A couple of years ago was versing Samoa Joe. You watch that match, that crowd was hot. People were wanting Hook to beat Samoa Joe for the AEW World Championship. This guy gets crickets now from everything that's happened. The theme, how they've booked him, and now it's like Eddie's the mentor. Like, this whole second match, bad stuff going on here.
Mentors as Hook had.
Well, yeah, he's the Spider-Man MCU. It's like, why is it always some adult watching Peter Parker? You know,
it made sense when he was a part of Team Taz. That made sense. But then anything after that, you're always under the wing of someone, and it doesn't make sense. I will say this:
Hook and the Ops, and now this.
Outside of this match, I will say for the show as a whole. Because talk about this match made me think about this. Daniel Bryan on commentary is absolutely amazing. From not only from this is why these moves make sense. This is why wrestler A is doing this, or this is what's in their mind and things like that. But just from the way that he would get animated about some moves, the way he would explain various things. He's like, that took my breath away. He's like, or that made me think about when this happened to me, and I was having a stinger down my neck for the next 3 days. Like, those tidbits put such legitimacy on a lot of these matches. This match, not so much, because it sucked. But literally, this was a 1.5 star match.
And even though the botch, though, with him calling that's a smart thing to be like, oh no, I think he hit him right on the chin. Because like Tony should never just said he missed. Like, I was like, what the fuck are you doing, Tony? Like, don't come on now. But no, and the good thing is Brian, he can be entertaining too. Like, it's hyperbolic, but if Brian gets a long run, he could be a top 3 commentary. He just has everything. And we already knew that because remember he did the Cruiserweight Classic back in the day. Who did he do that with? Who was on the booth with him in WWE?
I think it was like Mauro Ronaldo.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Like Nigel.
It could have been Nigel too. Yeah, it could have been. But he was great then. He just gets a perfect sense. He's respected, so people believe what he's saying. So yeah, no, he's a delight. I'm surprised he's full time. I thought he was gonna full time PPVs, but the fact he's full time is nuts. And I do love any time we didn't talk about, but in the Moxley match, and he fucking gives him a bag like it's drugs. Like, hey, look at this. He slides it over and goes back to doing his job. It's like, that's why I love you can constantly have these little moments.
Flipped
yeah.
off too,
I was ready for MJF Brian too when he was flipping off, and they just go to Brian. He says, He's so like Brian's so good. So like he's gonna get up and start kicking them, and that's gonna happen. It's just like they did like the whole trope of somebody getting bullied.
Build it up for
at one point he's gonna stand up.
Maybe when Mox is gonna I don't know, he has Darby wrapped in TNT or
something's gonna happen. Yeah. Or what I've said before, it sounds stupid, but if they ever the Death Riders ever turn on Moxley and they're destroying him, I could see Brian make the save for Moxley. It's they started to get there's he's a good person to have there. As Bubs, 5-star classic for you. You're saying on Dropkick, Big Bill and Eddie Kingston.
No, I don't think I even rated this match because I was barely paying. I literally looked away and Big Bill was down and Eddie was
at tops. Him. It's a 1.5 in my opinion. This was not good. This was
that's where I have it as a 1.5.
I want to see what's ranked on Dropkick right now. I don't even know what's on Cage Match. I'm sure on Cage Match
the highlight of this was Eddie Kingston's shirt on his entrance, and it was all just downhill from there.
Yeah, Cage Match has a 4.1.
4.1, and then Dropkick's is a 2.1. So
it's about the same.
Yeah, about the same. I was trying to see. There is a couple. Someone had to meet. There's 1 5-star on Dropkick. Someone has to be memeing. That has to be a joke. Let's see. Mark Briscoe versus MJF. This was more fun than I thought. I was like, what they gonna do for table tax? S-Bubs, you said it perfect in the Discord that for the first half was just a body slam challenge. And it was great because you have Mark Briscoe, who's a crazy character, and MJF, who can just sell anything of what the fuck, all that stuff. It ended up being really good. And kudos to these two guys. And because many wrestlers have said the thumbtack spot fucking just sucks. It's so the fact that they did 4 to 6, both them thumbtack spots. And I love that the ref had the goggles and the gloves.
Yeah, Bryce has the welding gloves all padded up. He's got the goggles on.
So this felt like it wasn't a comedy match because it did turn, but it felt like it had enough isms that it was a comedy match kind of done right and got dramatic, which they've done before. Briscoe and Ricochet did that
type thing.
Yeah. So no, I enjoyed
sort of a wacky character, but he can still get serious.
And I kind of hope they do an MJF losing streak for now, because David, you brought up you didn't pick him because you thought, well, he's not going to lose twice. But even
for
MJF...
me, it was since he lost the title, he can now lose to Briscoe. Yeah, was my thinking.
Plus, he should get some comeuppance for the brother jokes, or not the joke, but just saying you should die and say your brother and stuff. So, but I wouldn't mind if MJF just because that's the best thing is he has that contract, he still has a title shot, so he could lose a bunch, be okay, I'm gonna cash it in, and I could legitimately see the next time his contract's up, them doing a summer of MJF of he's gonna hint that he might be out of there, and that's where it fits of next week I'm challenging so and so for that title, and if I win, I'm taking
or it's his I think contract is up in a week, and
the night after.
Well, now, a week from now, I'm challenging for that title or something.
And it would fit kayfabe, because why would Tony Khan give that guy a title shot, right? Well, because he has to, because that. So I would be fine if MJF goes in a little losing streak now.
I wonder if he's maybe off for a while. I mean, I know he just got cast in some stuff, and obviously he didn't take his honeymoon yet.
He's in Violent Night too, right? Yeah. So and
I wonder if
they just dropped the Hurt Syndicate story,
Hanukkah type stuff in.
I think so. Yeah. So no, a fun match for me.
But he has to take his honeymoon now because he showed up on Collision the day
night after.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Bobby Lashley is the next one. This is the match that I said.
What's the name of their
Demand.
Didn't need to be on here.
The Demand. Yeah, this one did not need to be on here.
This was a dynamite
evidence
match
on Tony Khan. They I'm telling you, they do not draw just because people chant we hurt people. No, this is pre-show.
They have the brawl out footage.
They must have something. Yeah, they show that the Bucks did start it. I don't I'm don't get me wrong. I was liking a couple. I legitimately finally started to like the MJF Hurt Syndicate stuff. Then they just randomly ended it 2 weeks after. I liked the triple threat tags, just 2 tags teaming up the Hurt Syndicate, but we're just back to where we are. I don't know. This act to me just does not justify a pay-per-view spot. I'm not saying get rid of them.
I'm fine if they leave, just looking at the match graphic, I was like, this is a 0-hour match.
Yes. Why is this here? Like,
The-
good.
so-
Ricochet got the win. Cool.
I hate to say this, but a good friend of mine said that they felt like this match was here because Tony Khan is still thinking about the fact that they said that Triple H doesn't book black people on his pay-per-views, so he booked all his healthy black people in one
something
match.
else, or give them
He put them all in one match.
Just give them a stip and like have like it's just like I don't know, just do something more creative with the Hurt Syndicate then, you know? And enough with this like, well, the MJF thing stopped because they didn't want to do business with them. Fuck the what? Like fuck that. Like don't want to do business with them. You're the booker, man. This goes back to the Punk stuff of like get them in a room, sit them down, like and like what? Like it has Bobby Lashley threatened his life, and so like I'm gonna, I don't know.
MVP's like, remember, I went to prison for 9 years, you know. But
yeah, right. That's what I mean. What's happening? I don't know. We talked about Mercedes Rio already. This match, it ended up being good. Okada, Takeshita, and Dorada, but I still, in principle, do not like that they had Okada and Takeshita touch before. Save this for the one-on-one. Do Okada and Dorada. Do Takeshita and Dorada on Dynamite. This was good, but I just don't, you know, this was like a 3.5. There were some fun spots. Okada took some actual bumps, but yeah, I just didn't like I said, the match and concept for me. So yeah, good enough for me. What did you guys think?
I would have rather this had been either Takeshita not in this match or Okada not in this match. I could see more of Dorada and Takeshita going with Okada literally sitting there at ringside, like as a constant prop of whoever. No,
Yeah,
whoever wins this
yeah.
gets the shot at Okada, and there's all as Takeshita is doing moves against Dorado, he's looking back at Okada like you're next. Like they're feeding into these. We're on the same team, but we're not on the same. I want what you have, and just having that. So they have some back and forth, and then you know Dorado does some things, and you see Okada reacting like he's got that shitty grin, like, hey, if he beats you, I don't have to face you, so you better get your stuff together. Like, have something like that. I don't think that they should have faced each other yet. Again, just like I said about other match, like just like I said about Chris Statlander and Tony Storm, save that big match. If you want to have them do this, save it for there. The ending was predictable. I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah, no one.
Like, they're great workers.
Not gonna win in this triple, and Dorada's not fucking winning. You know, like
yeah. Great workers. Great. Everything that they did in the match was amazing. Just the match itself did not make sense. Didn't need it on this pay-per-view.
No.
And
have a main event collision. There you go. Even Dynamite. You know, like have hey, we're gonna give you a cool 3.75 like fun triple threat match. Okay, sure, do it on Collision. You know, but.
Yeah,
I hadn't thought of the idea of just making like a number one contenders match, but I think I would have liked that a lot. Especially if you have Okada at ringside with like the like Mercedes Moné set up with like a steak and wine and stuff, just watching this match. Or
even him grabbing the headset on the commentary and just going, bitch.
But yeah, overall, I did enjoy this match. Probably Dorada is like really fantastic.
He's fun.
Just does some crazy stuff, and Takeshita, I'm a big fan. But yeah, I agree. I do think it was sort of like weird to like sort of do the match already, even though it's not the match of Takeshita and Okada. But maybe it's just because I don't know. Maybe the actual match isn't happening for like a long time.
That's what I think, and that's what's like. Well, what's the point of all this then? You know, it's just like
maybe
the Okada booking's weird.
For like maybe this is like a Wrestle Dynasty match or something, because I think they're doing that again this year, right?
I think so. Yeah.
But
so
that might be it. That's like in like 3 months from now or something. But even then, like that's not that long if you want to like.
That's fine. Like, that's fine. I just worry if it's past that, or I worry like if a tournament comes up something where they get delayed. I guess we have to wait and see what happens with Takeshita and the G1 and Wrestle Kingdom. And everything
and I guess with the Continental, like with the unified title now being like. Because I assume the Continental now is not as complicated and it's just going to be like a number one contenders. Like you win the tournament and you get a shot at the title. Because before it was like the person with the title was in the tournament, and if they didn't make the finals, they like automatically vacated the title, and it was all like confusing. So I think now it should be simpler. But I assume like Takeshita's probably gonna be like in the Continental Classic again.
Yeah, and I would be down if they did that, and if they make the finals Okada Takeshita, and Takeshita gets to beat, like they keep saying he's the best tournament wrestler of all time, right? Well, wouldn't that be a fun way for Takeshita to get that win? So again, I'm down for the vision. It's just like this felt like a weird like side quest that we went on before the mission. It's like a weird like short
it kind
film.
It felt more like they wanted Okada like on the show, and they're like,
yes,
we
which you
really
don't always need
because
he's not always delivering like 10 out of 10 stuff anymore, you know? So
yeah.
Let's see. After that, we talked about Doxley, Moxley, and Al. We talked about the four-way ladder match. I thought it was really fun. The ladder match at near the end had some spots where like Speedball almost shattering his ankles. Man, that was dangerous. But there was like a 5-minute portion which I enjoy. The Rock Triple H one. I enjoy the Benoit Jericho one. I love ladder matches when it's not spots. It's just people beating each other with the ladders. And there's a point where Josh Alexander took over, and it was just a lot of that, and I enjoyed that. So it's like we kind of had like fast-paced action. And then we had like the ladder beatdown, and then we had like the car crash element. So this was like a really fun, enjoyable ladder match. I am all on the hype for Brodito. Like obviously Bandito's having a great year, and Brody King I've always liked, but I like that they won here, and that's good. I think that they will probably lose those titles to FTR, I bet, and then that's how you get FTR versus Edge and Christian. But no, I thought this was really fun, and we can talk about the post match thing after. But what do you think, David, of this ladder match?
It was a fun match. Like they really put on a show. I love the Young Bucks in any type of ladder match, so that's always fun to watch. Speedball Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight never come across to me as contenders for champions, but they can do the spots. They can be there for various things that are just fun. Same thing with Hechicero and Josh Alexander. Like they're there to fill up this car crash of moments. But yeah, they still all. I mean, Josh Alexander is an incredible wrestler. So even with that, they were doing some amazing stuff. And man, Bandito is amazing. I really do wish that they would remind people more that he is top guy in Ring of Honor. But him and Brody King together is just, they're fun to watch. And Brody King throwing himself about and the way that he did some of these bumps were just great. And then we get to the ending, which was just the aftermatch portion of this was just yay, everything.
Hashtag Trask was wrong. I said this in the Discord. I didn't think it would work. Let's see long term how it goes. But they've been teasing this Jack Perry thing, and even in this match, the Young Bucks at one point Nick ran up for the titles, and the crowd was cheering. So it's like, okay, Bucks have won the crowd back. Perry gets there. It's like a pop, but I'll give them kudos to me. It's all about the presentation and them doing this video where he literally Jack Perry like resurrects like Frankenstein's Luchasaurus. Really fun, really cool.
They played that video already, like when Luchasaurus came back, but like without Jack. Like it was purposely edited. Like you would only see like his hands or like the hair and stuff, so people were like theorizing it was him, and like he had the jacket on and stuff. But this like the full version.
Yeah, and you know what? Because I thought they were going to put them together. And I thought because the Bucks were getting popular, this might be the wrong move. But this is where it all again comes down to like presentation, right? When we talk about like Statlander winning the title, like anything could be a big moment or a man moment. The fact that the beatdown's happening, the lights go out, the video reveal, Luchasaurus comes in there looking. He's always been big, but he's big right now. They take out the Bucks, they hug, and then they have that theme ready to go. They nail it. To me, this is all about the follow up because Jack Perry's kind of like Sammy Guevara, where I feel like the AEW audience has like a very weird relationship with him. I like Jack Perry. Was he like a little shit back in the day of the Punk stuff? Sure, but like Punk was a little shit too. People like to normalize Punk going backstage just like trying to get in fights. Like both of them were little shits. They're both like having high school drama with each other over glass. Like no one was the adult in the room here. So that's where it's just like, we'll be like, oh my God, like Punk was the same way. Like he was taking the same shots back in the day when he was right. Is Perry the level of talent of Punk is? No, he's not. But this could work. It's going to be interesting to see that. I hope he doesn't come out with like like no more, like he can't do the loincloth and like the cheetah print. Like he can't do Jungle Boy, but he has to do like Jungle Man. He has to find like a variation of it. But I'm interested to see how they do it, and I love that. Hey, this is like another tag team feud that has a storyline for not the titles, right? You got FTR and Edge and Christian right now. You got this, and it worked. But for me, it is about the week's follow up. Okay, can the crowd stay together? Where on the same coin, we talked about this last episode. What they're doing with the Acclaim. Dead on arrival. The whole calling out like, oh, you've been floundering at Anthony Bowens. It's like you had him lose to a couple people. There's no push there. Max Caster's doing this. Like to me, it's just like, it's so funny, this company where this Jungle Boy thing, after this is a bad idea and they do it, it's like, man, they above expectations. This Acclaim thing, it's like no one wants the Acclaim back to get like that's where again it's all follow up. But I thought it was a really great moment, and we'll see. I hope they pull together and they can get over, and I think they both need this. Luchasaurus needs this, and Jack Perry definitely, he needs some goodwill. But they tried to, like, this reminds me of Sammy Guevara when they had him turn on Jericho, and everyone's like, oh, this could be the moment. But then, like, 3 months later, everyone's like, I still fucking hate Sammy Guevara. So it's like, was this just for the moment, or are people back on the Jack Perry page? You know, I don't know. So
now he's with the LFI on ROH.
Right, yeah, doing nothing, just waiting for his contract to come up, and I don't think
Andrade joining them.
I think, like, to me, Sammy Guevara is like gonna end up in TNA, in my opinion. I don't think WWE's gonna go after him. I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe they want someone to job out in NXT, but yeah, we'll see. And then we had Adam Page, Kyle Fletcher, Dave. Because you talked a little bit at the beginning. Anything more on this match?
Oh, like I said, they they did great with this match. I mean, from the moment that they immediately locked up, just the way that they worked together, these two worked seamlessly. I was kind of concerned because while Hangman is a lot lighter on his feet, he does work a more heavier style and has been, especially since more of his opponents lately. At no point did Fletcher seem just out of his element with this. And to me, this was the opposite of the Brock Lesnar John Cena match, where you got this quick, let's boom, conflicting styles, we're going to get this over with, where, man, they were just having fun with this. And Fletcher was taking some bumps that scared me at points, but also he was hitting some high flying moves. And man, Daniel Bryan on commentary during this thing, the excitement that he showed, the crowd popping for the near falls, everything else. And it feels like Hangman walked away from this feeling like he is strongest champion, and Kyle Fletcher looked like, okay, even though he takes this loss, like we were talking earlier about having, two people who take a loss, but it's okay. He took this loss. He can go back to doing everything that he's doing in the TNT Championship and it not miss a beat. Not be, oh, well, you lost against Hangman, so you shouldn't be champion. No, he's still, again, great. But that avalanche Deadeye from the middle turnbuckle and the way that Fletcher hit, I was like, oh, man, please be okay. Please be okay. He was folded in half, but please be okay.
They got to give him some wins now, though, because like he did lose his champion, right? And I'm with you, we're never a fan of that, so we'll see what happens. But no, really great match. They delivered. Fletcher is he's the real deal. I think we talked about this last episode or a couple times, but Tony was very smart to make sure he re-signed him right away. Because I've said this before, if he was a free agent, WWE would have fucking gobbled that kid up. And I think like pushed him well. I don't even think it's a bad thing. I think they would have. He very much. I think Miles Bourne is probably pretty lucky that they didn't sign him, because he's almost like the better version of that. Because like Kyle Fletcher, man, he did the whole thing where he shaved his head, and the shape he's in is phenomenal. How toned he is, everything. This showed he can hang. I think the only problem with this match was, other than one spot with that counter, no one believed Kyle was winning this match, right? Like that wasn't going to happen. So I think it was fun for the good rookie upstart, so they had to make sure, hey, let's go have an amazing... To me, this is like a 4.5 match, where let's have an amazing match where the drama's not there, we don't have weapons, we don't have a big stipulation, but let's just go out there and wrestle. And, they say, we're the best wrestle, right? So that's what you got to do, and I appreciate that. I was surprised Hangman won on last. So, yeah, Kyle, I think in the next 2 years, will be champ. He's going to carry that. Whether he defends against Ospreay or beats Ospreay, like I think it's one of those two. But, no, Kyle did a phenomenal job. Hangman, that's my... Next to Omega, that's my guy in AEW. I love this character. That with that being said, I do think now it's gonna be interesting where he beat Moxley, and then the next story was like, oh, I beat the up and comer. I'm very curious what they're gonna do with him, because I think with that happened with the first Hangman title run, where the first few months they had a lot of great story stuff for him, and then the middle stuff was just kind of like Challenger of the Month, and then the Punk stuff, obviously a lot of bad stuff happened, but the actual story was good. So I just want them consistent. So I think they need to find, obviously it won't be Swerve, but they need to find like a next Swerve from. They need to find like another like rival, because like he didn't like Kyle Fletcher, but it wasn't like a blood feud, right? Like I think they need to find something that Adam Page can do, like those very fiery, passionate promos that he's great at. So I'll be curious what they do next, because next is Wrestle Dream, right? And that's kind of like a weird, like sometimes it's a crossover show, sometimes it's not. Like it's kind of like the Forbidden Door. So I'm not sure if he wrestles someone from New Japan. I don't know what the state is. I don't know who. That's the one bad thing, though. It kind of feels like it's similar to Monet, where with Hangman, I'm wondering who is next up to line. You know, like I don't see a
6-year anniversary Dynamite that I'm gonna be at, but they usually have like some big title match there.
Yeah, and yeah, it could happen. I'm just wondering who the next guy up in line is for him. Obviously, it's not Wardlow, because there's conflicting things there. Shout out to Wardlow. I'm not the biggest Wardlow fan, but we didn't know that last episode that like man came back, tore his pec on the return. That heartbreaking, man. That sucks.
That's horrible timing.
This guy, between all the way back to the MJF stuff to now, he does have some of the worst luck in like wrestling history, as far as multiple like big pushes just like getting capped at the knees for some reason. But I really don't know who. I don't know on the horizon right now with AEW, but hopefully they find someone, because they did MJF already too. They did that, so I don't know. We'll see.
It's gonna be Ricochet. It's gonna be Ricochet.
Good match. That's not a story that interests me at all. Of like the way I like. Don't get me wrong. I like Ricochet, like the psycho nerd story. Yeah, like. But I think to me the Ricochet's character is a perfect like mid card title guy, not world title guy. Like to me, no, I don't know if I'm supposed to want that. That is like the Dynamite 600. Like he could do a Dynamite AEW world title shot. I don't think he could do like
that's what I was gonna say. I feel like that's like a TV match, like a
that
big
works.
TV
I'm fine with
match.
that. Yeah,
but right now you really don't have anyone else in a main event position. Okay, MJF's going out.
Say, do you think they ever give Lashley a world title shot, or would it be
that
too
scares
risky
the
if
hell
he
out
says,
of me, man?
I'm going over.
That scares. I hope not.
Hangman.
Yeah, let him win the Continental Classic or TNT, but don't stay away from the AEW. If he's willing to do business, sure. Because like, surprisingly, I don't know why, but like that's like, low key they could have an awful match, but they could also have a really good match. Lashley and Hangman. I don't know why they just have like that biggie meat slapping men type of match, because like Hangman's not like a big guy, but he is like he's a broad guy. Like he's a classic GMO bruiser type. He's a bruiser, and Lashley's like a heavyweight, sometimes giant. So he's also a bruiser
too.
He's the
class switch.
Yeah, specialist. He's a specialist, you know. So yeah, I suppose is right. Like Lashley's a good option. That just scares me. If I'm watching Hangman's second reign end to Bobby Lashley, that might have been worse than Moxley retaining over Hangman. You know, I'm trying to think. They can't run Moxley back because they did that.
Now,
Takeshita,
I was about to say if Takeshita wasn't doing the stuff with Okada, he would be a great.
Yeah,
unless there's like a draw.
Don't give me Lance Archer again. Like unless there's some signing.
Someone else in like the Don Callis, but then he already fought Alexander like non-title.
Yeah, he did.
Like Takeshita, for like we said, I don't think it would happen. He did Kyle Fletcher. And then I mean, you have like Hechicero, who's a good wrestler, but he's not really like established as much. I don't think so. And then below that are like you're entering the jobber tier of the Don
Jericho's big return matches.
Rocky Romero.
I was about to say Rocky and Trent Beretta.
it's gonna be Jericho's return match. That's how they get him back, is because they can tie it together, right? The first ever title match was those two. I can see it now. I don't want that, but like I'm just trying to think of any like free signings coming up too of anybody that's like, whether it's New Japan or anywhere that they might build up.
Killer
and yeah,
Cross.
Andrade.
You know what? Andrade, they couldn't main event a pay-per-view.
Andrade had like a. I don't think he has a non-complete because he just tweeted
he's got a Mexico
30 showing up to some Mexican show.
We didn't even talk about that, but I don't know what Aspos had the greatest quote on that he said he's waddling like the people do in those Triple H emails.
Yeah,
and GMO 100%.
Something over the weekend and now it's suspended.
Because when you get these emails in the game, you're like, this doesn't happen anymore. It does with Andrade. It does. Like Andrade's out there making moves that we don't even know about. And hey, that would be Andrade Hangman would bang. That would be really good. Again, I think that's like TV. I don't think it's a pay-per-view.
I don't even know if AEW like hires Andrade again.
Fightful said the rumor was that as long as it wasn't anything bad while he's fired, they're open to business with them.
I know there's the rumors of the drug use. If it's not the drug that I've been seeing in some of the rumors, I think if it's just like other things, he was over it and he didn't want to go and he was purposely trying to get himself fired, which we know Andrade to do, purposely try and get himself fired.
I don't know, the snowman, maybe he's not mad at Andrade about that.
He gets it. He gets it, man. I understand.
Yeah.
A lot of work days, so I'm just trying. Let me just look quickly. AW roster. I'm just trying to think of anybody. And again, even Ricochet,
I'm looking that there's not anyone who's not currently involved in something that would be anywhere near the top.
Kenny just returns on TV like this week.
Yes, Kenny's the option they could go to, whether he's face or heel. And I'm down if they give someone like a face versus face thing with Hangman. But again, even Andrade and Ricochet, they could be on a PPV as long as they're not main eventing, right? They could do that. Because Kyle Fletcher, it's like, okay, he doesn't have the stock of a star power, but you can tell he's like building right now, right? Man, too bad he's injured. Heel Jay White right now would be the perfect scenario because they built that story up with them.
Yep.
And then Jay White got injured. That would be really good time, but I don't know where he is.
I mean, we've got a returning Pac who could.
Pac, yeah, I guess, but then he's back in the Death Riders vortex, right? Like, don't get me wrong, that'd be a good match.
Moxley, run it back.
Yeah, run it back again.
Because they were supposed to be at the first pay-per-view to get, or not the first one. They were supposed to be at the second pay-per-view. They were supposed to be at Full Gear wrestling each other because they had that whole thing on BTE about Hangman needing to lose weight because he didn't look good because Pac was always walking around in just his tights. So like they had that whole thing, and then I think that's when Pac ended up getting injured, or he didn't want to lose because the whole he was Dragon Gate champion. Something happened and they ended up not going at it.
Right? Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, they're hurting for top contenders.
They are.
Jeff Jarrett.
Finally to live that dream. He wants to be AEW champion.
See it in person. I'd be hyped for Jarrett.
You know what? Just follow through with the Monet bump. Just give it to Beast Mortis. Let Beast Mortis in there. Nice 3.5er. We're good to go. Rouge is always an option, but like,
that's the same issue as Lashley. He just shoot pins Hangman.
Yeah. No, that's the issue. They need somebody. They need something, and that's why I wonder if either they're gonna do babyface, or if one of these baby faces are gonna turn.
Orange Cassidy.
I would be so down.
Comes back, just immediate title shot.
Beats them, yeah. So
yeah,
we'll see. Well, like I said, we don't know. We're gonna wait to the cards. I think it's probably more likely we'll probably do a show on the 19th after, because then we'll have both Wrestle Dream and Australia to review. So let's see, what is that? That's because what are we at now? We're kind of in an awkward time here because we try to do every 2 weeks. So we'll get back to you because maybe there might be a rest. Yeah, there might actually be an Australia show. GMO. I got to figure out. My hope was to maybe do that at some point next weekend, but my next week is already busy. So I think with GMO'd in the next couple months, there's gonna be 1 month we'll probably do a twofer, or one at the beginning and then one at the end. I actually think probably for the rest, we'll have to figure it out, because if we do a show after Wrestle Dream, that's like almost a whole month away. So maybe we won't do that. There might be like a Australia review show, Wrestle Dream prediction show, and then something else. So we'll figure it out. So right now, not as clear. So wait to that. And then GMO'd we'll try and do, and if not, we'll make up for it. And then S-Bobs, did you ever do those draft points before we end this episode?
Yes,
okay, what are we sitting at here?
Okay, so here it is. David is at 398 total points.
Okay.
Travis is at 668, and I'm at 636.
Still holding that lead right now. Okay, I like it. Okay.
Yeah, so the only one who got main event points for the PLE this week, though, was David.
Because he
got that 20 points there.
Who do you finally?
He had Cody.
Is Cody? Yeah.
And no one has Drew.
No one has Drew. Oh yeah, I guess he was away for a while. I thought he was gonna be injured, right? So
yeah.
Well, there you go. We're cooking. Our next switch up's coming in November. So obviously, big race between me and S-Bubs.
Switch up like half my roster.
Yeah,
dropping like
changes.
6 people.
Yeah. Well, there you go. So yeah, no, we'll be back sometime in October. Break down a lot of big wrestling stuff. Yeah, and we'll be boring. So see you till then.
See ya.